Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway as we kick off this Labor Day weekend of racing. It's a hot and steamy night with a very close championship battle on the line. Of course, last week we saw Kyle Busch score his 50th win in the Nationwide Series. Tonight he will roll off third. Then there's Justin Allgaier, one of only one top 10 finish in the last 5 races. What will he be able to do tonight? Festivities are already going on trackside, so let's listen in.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, please rise and remove your hats as the United States Customs and Border Protection Honor Guard present our nation's colors. And remain standing as Dr. Mel Blackaby of First Baptist Church, Jonesboro, offers tonight's invocation.
Heavenly Father, as we gather for this great event, we stop and acknowledge a great God. Heavenly Father, you are sovereign and you're in control. You're full of mercy and grace, and the Bible says you love us. So we thank you for that love that we know in Jesus Christ, and it's in His name that we ask you to protect these drivers. Keep them safe, keep them alert. May they display the talents that you have given them. And as we all enjoy the freedom as a nation, would you watch over our troops wherever they might be? And we ask this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
In honor of our troops, place your right hand over your heart as the Song of Atlanta Show Chorus performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave, the
Let's hear it for the Song of Atlanta Show Chorus for their performance of our national anthem, and special thanks to the F-15s from the 199th.
There is Jason Leffler climbing into his car. He will start 16th tonight. Keep in mind, if you're looking for him, he's not in his usual 38 car. He is in the 30 car. And how about the Daytona 500 winner? Has that big win in the Cup Series, but still winless in the Nationwide Series. He starts 6th, and this is his kind of track. When we come back, we'll get ready for 300 miles here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Don't go anywhere.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Atlanta is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. Enter this code at codespotter.com for a chance to win one-of-a-kind NASCAR VIP experiences. And AutoZone. Parts are just part of what we do. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
ESPN wraps up the holiday weekend with an ACC battle Monday night as Lamar Miller leads the Miami Hurricanes against Danny O'Brien and the Maryland Terrapins. And which new coach, Al Golden or Randy Edsall, will earn a win in their ACC debut? It's college football prime time as part of Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week on ESPN Monday at 8 Eastern, and also available in spectacular 3D. We are back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, where some of our crew has been quite successful, including Rusty Wallace. In 1989, you may recall this was the race where he was crowned the Winston Cup champion. Sir, I have to say that's a very spectacular move.
Nice little hopping.
That was good.
Thank you very much.
Tim Brewer, also successful here with Bill Elliott, got the win in March of 1992. And I know you know this guy. That's Dale Earnhardt Sr. in November of 1995. And how about his crew chief, Andy Petrie? Not to be outdone, it is one Dale Jarrett in March of 1997. If you tally him up, this has been a successful crew.
We've had a
Brad
good
Doherty,
run.
we left you off the list, didn't we?
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. Come on, let's give Brad a
Couple
little bit of luck.
modified.
He's had 3 second-place finishes on the quarter mile out
That's
there, so
exactly
that
right.
counts also.
See, Marty Reed, this is
All
the
relative.
handful that I have to
All
contend
relative.
with here in the pit studio. I hope that your gang up there in the booth is a little bit nicer, and a little bit easier.
Absolutely. Hello again, everybody. Dale took me around the track on Thursday, part of the Coca-Cola deal, and gave me a good ride. So I've actually been around the racetrack, and it helped to actually understand what's going on, because 2 things that we learned from the Camping World Truck Series race last night: tires are supreme. I mean, you need them every chance you get. And fuel. We saw that fuel strategy came into play because long green flag runs. And we are down 15% this year on cautions compared to last year. So let's start with the tires.
Yeah, no reason to think this is going to be any different tonight. This is a racing surface that is worn out. It abuses the tires quite a bit. No doubt that the drivers are the stars, but the tires are king here tonight. And the driver that learns to go the fastest and save his tires for those long runs is going to be the one out front at the end of this race.
And the crew chiefs have to manage that. They have to watch those monitors and monitor that speed and how much that speed falls off and make that decision when to bring them down pit road. A lot of times they'll pit short under green, and then at the end of the race, that pit window may come into play if it gets down to it.
Let's quickly talk about the top 2 in points, because you talked to Elliott Sadler before tonight's race. Qualified 9th, but wasn't real happy.
Yeah, he qualified okay, but he was not very enthusiastic about his race car. Wasn't exactly sure what they may have here tonight.
And there you see his finishes as he has narrowed the gap from 29.4 races ago to 5 right now. Let's find out what happens as we go trackside.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome our Grand Marshal, Great Clips Chief Executive Officer, Rhoda Olson.
On behalf of all of our great franchisees and 30,000 incredibly talented stylists in our salons across the United States and Canada, welcome to the Great Clips 300. It's going to be a great race. Drivers, start your engines.
10-4 fired up. I just couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if we were right on it or 2 behind it. Going to use 40-75, second gear. 40-75. 5 miles per hour is 41.58.
So the engines are fired on the 43 cars that have made the field, and we are going to get ready to go racing here. And there's the man that's going to be our in-race reporter, Eric Almirola. He has top 8 finishes in 6 of his last 7 races, and we'll talk to him when we come back. Welcome back to the NASCAR Nationwide Series here at Atlanta, Great Clips 300. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. Across the top of the screen, you'll see the starting field, a couple of DNQs. Unfortunately, Brian Keselowski and Mike Harmon did not make the field. And 2 cars going to the rear, TJ Bell and John Jackson. Of course, the man that's going to be starting this race tonight in the 11th position in the 88 car. That car won last year with Jamie McMurray in that ride. This time it's Eric Almirola. He picked up 1 spot on the points. He's 58 markers behind in the championship chase, running in 4th. Let's talk to him, DJ.
Hey, Eric, Dale Jarrett, ESPN. You have a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, Eric, thanks for talking with us tonight. Our first question comes from our ESPN mailbag, and Nick in Crofton, Maryland asks, do you think you and your team have what it takes to break through and get that first win tonight, as well as climb into the championship contention?
I think we do. Our Hellman Chevrolet was pretty good in practice today. We put a lot of focus on that morning practice, and our car drove really good. I was really happy with the car that Pops and all the boys at Junior Motorsports gave me this weekend. So I feel like if we go out and run as good as we can run and put ourselves in position to win, that anything's possible. And if we win or run as good as we can run, the points will take care of themselves. So we can't really worry about everybody else. We just got to do the best job we can do, like we've been doing the last month and a half, 2 months.
Eric, we've been talking all day and all weekend about how abrasive this racetrack is, wearing out the tires. What are the things that you as a driver concentrate on doing to run as fast as you can, but yet not abuse those tires and have something as you make those longer runs?
Well, most of that comes with having a good handling race car. When your car doesn't handle as good as you want it to, you tend to tear up the tires on one end of the car or the other. If you're tight, you rip the front tires off, and if you're loose, you wear the back tires out. So it's important to have a good handling race car, which I feel like we got, and just try and do the best job you can at keeping up, but not abusing your race car.
All right, Eric, thanks for talking with us. Have a very successful night. Now, Andy's going to talk to your crew chief, Tony. You're a senior.
All right, thanks.
Hey, Pops, Andy Petrie in the booth. You got us?
I got you.
Hey, Tony, we heard them talking about tires, and we know just how valuable a set of sticker tires would be late on pit road, late in the race. Will you guys do things to maybe conserve and save a set of tires for that last pit stop late in the race?
Well, I don't know that you can conserve and save. We're just hoping the cautions fall right so that we have enough tires, for the night. When we start getting those 25-lap runs, the cautions come out, we start using up tires. We only got 4 sets of tires laying here on the ground, so we can very easily run out of tires before the end of the race. So it's really a hard race to call, and hopefully to make it easier on us, the cautions will fall right so that we don't run out of tires before the night's over.
Okay, Pops. Good luck tonight, and thanks for talking to us.
All right, thank you.
Let's show you the rest of our onboards. Obviously, we have one with Eric Almirola, as we've also got him with Elliott Sadler, Ricky Stenhouse, Jamie McMurray, Justin Allgaier, Kevin Harvick, Casey Kane, Carl Edwards, and Stephen Wallace. Our over-the-wall reporter is the rear tire carrier for the number 14 of Eric McClure. That's Chris Justice. He's hard at work. Chris, you guys be safe down there, and thanks for wearing the camera for us tonight. Let's take a look at our Goodyear track facts for here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and I don't think we can wear out the subject of this track because it's worn.
Yeah, now you see the 24 degrees of banking. That's significant. It keeps the speeds up, but we can't talk enough about just how worn this is and how abrasive it is. That'll be one of the keys tonight, is who can make their car go the fastest on these older tires.
And you see that pit window, 55 to 60 laps? That's about how far you can go on a tank of fuel. We probably won't see anybody stretch that or even test that pit window until maybe the last run of the night. They'll want to get tires a lot sooner than that.
All right, we've got a quick moment. We can check in one more time from pit road. Let's quickly go to Jamie Little.
Well, Marty, for the first time in 11 races, Ryan Truex is back behind the wheel of a race car. But it's not just any race car. He's in the 20 Joe Gibbs racing machine. And so far, he has turned some heads. He was fastest in final practice and then went out and qualified on the second row for his first ever start in Atlanta. The team's expectations are modest, but Ryan Truex could be the dark horse. Dr. Jerry Punch?
Well, Jamie, last year, NASCAR Sprint Cup driver Casey Kane had the fastest nationwide car here at Atlanta until the race began. After qualifying on the pole, his car in the track got very free. He slid back in the pack, had contact, and finished a disappointing 19th. Now, today in final practice, crew chief Stuart Cooper spent most of that session building in adjustability for the car, hoping that wouldn't happen again. This race, very important to this team. The race sponsor, Great Clips, also the car sponsor. And by the way, these are the same folks that gave Casey Kane his very first nationwide win at Homestead back in 2003. Vince Welch.
Jamie McMurray is making just his third nationwide start of the season. He's in the 7 car for JR Motorsports. He drove for this team here last year and won the race in the 88. When I talked to him before the race about what kind of car he has for tonight, he says, I wish I could tell you. I just don't know. It's a fast track, low grip. It's going to be a handful. McMurray hopes he's got a good one tonight, Marty.
All right, thanks, guys. TJ Bell, John Jackson missed the drivers, meaning TJ Bell is going to miss the start. He's on pit road to the right of your screen. Pace car is off. Carl Edwards taking the outside. 3 guys have won this race from the pole. Carl, the last one to do it in 2005, and the Great Clips 300 is green. Coming down the backstretch, some great action side by side as Brad Keselowski out in front of Carl Edwards right now by about a nose.
So we set this momentum then up from that high side. That's what Carl Edwards had in mind, that he would be able to carry that to the start-finish line. Was able to do that this time, but Brad Keselowski hanging tight on the bottom.
Carl officially led lap number 1. You see the sparks flying from the 22.
Yeah, we already see him 3 wide out through here too. A lot of different grooves to run on.
Well, this track's rough. I mean, it's got a lot of bumps. You see the sparks flying in turn 1. That'll get a little better when the tire pressures come up, but you're going to see sparks fly all night.
While all this is going on, Timmy Hill in the 15 making an unscheduled pit stop. Kevin Harvick's got his hands full with the 20 of Ryan Truex. On board with McMurray. Let's go 3 wide.
Yeah, might as well get this thing started right here.
McMurray won this race last year in the 88. He's on that high line with the number 2 of Elliott Sadler following him, and they're sliding up in between them, the 33 of Harvick.
Jamie Murray is one of those drivers that does a nice job of conserving his tires. He gets a lot out of the car, as you see Trevor Bain going to the bottom side of the racetrack. But you really have to be careful. If you try to just utilize the bottom, you will wear your tires out. If your car's a little tight, it'll be the front tires. If it's a little bit on the loose side, as we heard Eric Almirola explain to us, you're going to wear those rear tires out. So you have to really be careful what you're doing here.
Ryan Truex going to go down, try the low line underneath the 2 of Elliott Sadler. Can't get it done. So far, the 7 of McMurray and the 2 of Sadler hugging the high side of the track.
We heard Elliott Sadler say he wanted a car that was good in the long run. And one of the ways to try to conserve those tires a little bit and take a little pressure off of them is to run that high line. And so you don't have to really bend the steering wheel and turn the car and scrub a lot of speed.
If you run that high line, you're not able to charge the corner quite as hard as if you're going in on the bottom. So that helps you save the right front tire a little bit. But you have to be careful not to abuse the right rear in that where you get back to the gas and drive the car around the corner more.
Casey Kane also on that high line, but let's go on board. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has gotten around him, so Stenhouse here in the early go looking good.
I think this is exactly the type of racetrack that we expect Ricky Stenhouse to run good at. Yeah, he's been great all year and getting the most out of his car and making it go fast, and this is the type of place you can do that.
Well, remember this race last year, guys. He and Jason Leffler were the only 2 nationwide regulars to crack the top 10. Ricky finished in 10th.
I like what I see Casey Kane doing right now. He was trying the bottom, right on the bottom in the turn 1 and 2, and he tries the high side in 3 and 4. And sometimes we see that, Dale. We'll see people that'll run the bottom of the racetrack on one end and the top on the other. And when do you know that's the place to run?
Yeah, and it's almost a little bit of a preference as a driver as to what you want to do. But you do start feeling the car go away a little bit on the bottom side when you're running that on one end. So you have to make that change and just to try to save your tires and make sure that you have something left.
While you're watching that battle for 6th place between McMurray and Kevin Harvick, let's update you because Timmy Hill has taken it behind the wall. He is the points leader in the Rookie of the Year competition. Also behind the wall, Johnny Chapman, Mark Green, Carl Long, and now the 42 also of Tim Andrews. Harvick down low in the 33. Side by side. Boy, that momentum on the high side is helping McMurray.
Yeah, it really does. And that's one of the good things that you do in running up there. You make a little longer racetrack out of it. But that momentum, you just make the straightaway longer by being able to do that. But you see Kevin Harvick's car working really well on the bottom, able to make the pass.
When I've seen Kevin Harvick be dominant here, it's been when his car is right on that yellow line. I've actually seen him, I watched him practice a little bit in the Cup practice, where his left front tire was basically on that yellow line all the way through the corner.
Third car in that freight train is Trevor Bain. From where they are, let's go back up front where Carl Edwards has led every single lap, Dave Burns.
Clean air so far for Carl, feeling really good about the setup, but not so great about the motor. Listen to the radio.
Engine sounds a little funny to me. On the low end, sounds a little flat.
He then radioed, it sounds like it's down 1 cylinder, but it's still got lots of power. Don't know what it is, Marty.
Well, and let's talk about this because there have been some engine issues this year for the Roush.
There have been, but I would be getting Carl calm back down a little bit. I'm looking at this monitor, and there's not a car on the track that's running faster lap times. I'm still going to be a little concerned. We'll be listening for it, but the motor's running pretty good to be running as fast as it is.
Yeah, one thing that I'll say, too, sometimes you'll get fooled by, as a driver, he didn't run a lot of laps this morning, and when he did, they were all very fast. These cars have already slowed down into the 32-second bracket, so sometimes just that change and that slowness there will make you think that something's wrong with the engine.
2 of the championship contenders in that mix, the 2 of Elliott Sadler, the 32 of Reed Sorensen. The man in the middle is the 20 of Ryan Truex. That's 9th, 10th, and 11th. We talked about the Roush engine situation, give you an idea just what problems they've had. And you can see right there the number of times this year. This week on baseball's biggest stage, AL Central rivals battle from Comerica Park as Paul Konerko and the White Sox look to make up ground in the division when they take on Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers. Sox Tigers, ESPN 2 Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell as part of the Hunt for October. That's at 8 Eastern. Back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, we have completed 16 of 195 laps. You're looking at our race leader, Carl Edwards. He has led every single one of those laps. Radioed in that he was hearing something in the engine compartment, but so far still well out in front. Second place is Kyle Busch, a full second behind in that 18 car. Brad Keselowski in the 22 is third. Ricky Stenhouse fourth. Kevin Harvick rounds out your top five.
You know, one thing I love about this track is when you see these cars, they can get completely out of shape and bring them back. That's a 1.5 mile racetrack where you're going this fast. It's hard to do that at most of these tracks where you're going this fast, but this combination of the surface and the tire, you can see those cars get completely sideways coming off the corner.
Thank goodness you can, because we'd have to have a caution after caution if you couldn't. You see these cars, every one of them almost sideways coming off the corner.
It seems especially turn 4, you can see the cars do that.
Yeah, you just get such a run off that corner. You're carrying a lot of speed, and then the track flattens out so quickly right there that it just the back end of the car, you've got wheel in it, then it flattens out, and it just tends to send the back of the car around. It's an exciting lap around here.
Let's put a period on Timmy Hill's situation in that 15. Vince Welch reported from down in pit road they are in the garage with transmission issues. He had a 3-point lead over Blake Cook in the Rookie of the Year standings coming in. That could be changing by night's end. Brad Keselowski, his first race back in, well, the last 5. He missed the past 4 because of the broken foot. And if you were with us for Countdown, you know about how he made the deal with Roger Penske. Performed well, and he performed pretty good last week, winning it at Bristol to earn the ride back.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, how these cars can get out of shape and you can still bring them back.
You got to say his car is driving good might be a understatement here. It's not very... Well, he ran up on the car here.
He was needing to turn the wheel just a little bit more than those back wheels would hold.
That was Robert Richardson in the 23. Let's get an update from Dave Burns.
Well, and even with that, Marty, he has said all good so far. That's the early report from Brad Keselowski. I asked his crew chief, Todd Gordon, about getting him back in the car. Did they have to sort of rethink the way they were doing things with different drivers for the past 4 weeks? And Todd said, nope, not at all. In fact, when Brad showed up, they didn't even talk about it. Got in the car, did practice just like he always does. So really, they feel like they haven't lost a step. And of course, Brad's gained a lot on the Cup side since they last raced together.
And DJ, you're noticing that paper on the front of that grill.
Yeah, I noticed him really looked like his car's pretty loose right here, and that could be having something to do with that. Add just a little bit more downforce to the front end.
Checking in on the battle for 13th. That's Justin Allgaier in the 31. Underneath the 2 of Elliott Sadler. So Sadler going in the wrong direction right now.
Yeah, he did qualify well, but we heard Dale talking about how he talked to him and didn't have a car that he felt like was as good as he needed tonight. So far, it's not up to par. They'll have to make an adjustment here on that first stop.
Well, this is a place that's so fast, and we talk about the tires getting gone in a hurry. When your car is not performing, it is very, very difficult to try to keep up here. You just try to get the most out of it to try to get to that pit stop and work on it.
I don't know if you were with us for Countdown, but the beard that Justin Allgaier is wearing, he says it's probably going to disappear because wife Ashley doesn't like it. Let's check in on the 6. Ricky Stenhouse he is battling out with Brad Keselowski. Stenhouse now in 3rd.
I'll tell you what, that Brad Keselowski, not only can he drive, he's smart too. He let Ricky Stenhouse go, knowing he could get up against him and get that piece of paper off, and he did it.
And it's gone. Here we go. Take you back.
Yeah, it's a perfect move right here. This is what you need is a driver to get there, another car to get right in front of you, get as close as you possibly can. You turn the fan off. Even got a little bump drafting in, got the paper off too.
If that didn't get it, nothing will. Yep, all good, bud. All good.
You're A-OK, Brad. Hey, he's won 2 of his last 4 nationwide starts. Remember back at Kentucky and at Lucas Oil Raceway? Maybe he'll make it 3 tonight. There's your top 5 right now. Everybody's chasing Carl Edwards. He's got a 1.6-second lead here at Atlanta.
Well, the sunset better set soon so we can get in the mood.
Here at Atlanta, you're looking at our race leader, Carl Edwards. He's led all 28 laps so far. He only led 7 laps here since winning back in 2005. So gives you an idea just how good his race car is tonight. A little bit farther back, there is the 33 of Kevin Harvick as he is talking to teammate Elliott Sadler in 14th.
Elliot, you got me here? Yeah. I've been having to let all the way off, get in the corner, go back to part throttle, and then throttle up off, and it's flying right now. All right, Bizzle, yeah, I'm definitely letting all the way off.
Yeah, one thing Kevin left out there, he might have should have told him he's right on the bottom of the racetrack, too, because Elliot's running right up against the wall. And maybe Elliot's car won't go down there and do what he needs, but Kevin's making pretty good time down on the very bottom of the track.
Right behind Kevin Harvick is Jamie McMurray. He got his first career nationwide win here back in October of 2002. He was driving Ruku. Do you remember who his crew chief was back then? Guy by the name of Jason Radcliffe. Vince, what are you hearing on that 7th car?
You know, I was talking to McMurray before the race, and he said, it'll take me about 20 laps, and then I'll have a good understanding of what I got. Well, here was his radio communication with crew chief Tony Eury Jr. at about lap 20.
Yeah, it's pretty good now. Good for it. We'll just see where it goes here. The fastest guys are running like 80s. We're running like 33, 30s, 40s right there. So we'll just see how it goes. They're up there in traffic pretty good too, though. This will be a good one.
So for a guy that wasn't sure what he had at the beginning, it looks like he and crew chief Tony Eury Jr. have hit on something pretty good here. Remember, he won this race a year ago in the 88.
All right, thanks, Vince. And McMurray right now clicking off the laps, 33.32 seconds. That's actually quicker than race leader Carl Edwards by 0.2. Moving back a little bit farther, Ryan Truex has dropped down to the 11th spot as he is just ahead of Justin Allgaier. Let's get an update from Jamie Little.
Well, Marty, he started 4th. Remember, this is his first ever time here at Atlanta. It's his crew chief's first time, too, as Justin Allgaier continues to put the pressure on. Ryan telling his crew, I'm trying to move around, trying to figure it out. He moved up high and he said, wow, it's slick up there. So he is getting a quick understanding of Atlanta. Let's go back to Vince. The 7 is on pit road, Vince.
Yeah, right after we were giving you that radio and McMurray, he came over and said, I think I've got a flat right front. So he's going to come in, he's going to get 4 tires, and they're also going to go up on that track bar a couple of rounds, take care of some chassis business while they're in working on these fresh tires. So a bad break for Jamie McMurray under green to get a flat on the right front.
So the crew going to work. And this at lap 33, and you were thinking that, oh, and look at that tire. It was.
Well, the track is fairly green. I know we've had a lot of practice and all that on it, but this track.
Hey, we're going to the 2 box there, Jamie. Going to the 2 box. Go hard, go hard. Go hard, 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 hard. Right there, 4,000 seconds.
Looking for the battle for the lead on the right side as Jamie McMurray was coming back out. Carl Edwards almost got held up by lap traffic and manages to hold on to the spot with 18 of Kyle Busch right behind.
Now, these lead cars are approaching these lap cars at a really high rate of speed. You have to anticipate what these guys are going to do and be ready to make a real adjustment.
See right there, you kind of flat spotted it coming in, but that tire, you know, this green racetrack it wears tires at a really high rate, and then after you get halfway or later in this race, you won't see near the tire wear that you see early in the race.
Right side of your screen there, slicing and dicing through the lap traffic. Harvick went low. The 09 went high. That's Kenny Wallace. Left side of your screen, Carl Edwards has started to open it back up on Kyle Busch.
After seeing that tire off of McMurray's, if I'm one of those crew chiefs down there for one of the lead cars, I'd be a little concerned about that, and I'd be watching these lap times very, very closely. And if I see him fall off drastically, I'd bring him down pit road before he has a problem.
Let's go back and show you what happened with the 33 getting around that 22.
Yeah, Brad's going to get blocked off a little bit there, but Mike Bliss, and his momentum was broken there. Harvick takes advantage, goes into the 4th spot.
Bliss running 24th right now. He's 1 lap down. In fact, we only have 16 cars on the lead lap. Joe Nemechek would be in the lucky dog spot, running 17th. Harvick is 6 seconds behind the race leader of Carl Edwards. Edwards has led all 37 laps so far here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. There's your top 5. Our first caution of the night is out, and you can see the reason why. Just look at the right side of the 14 of Eric McClure as we have completed 42 of the 195 laps. And a tough break for Eric because they were working hard and just a little too hard there.
Yeah, that's one of the dangers of running that high line. You don't have much room for error up there. You got a little bit loose and slap the wall. One of those things as a driver, you're wanting a caution, but you don't want to be it.
You don't want to be the caution. That's the problem. This is a welcome relief now for some of these guys up front. His lap time has slowed down up to 3 seconds from what they started out. So these new tires feel pretty good.
Right there and got it with the right rear.
Well, the 51 of Jeremy Clements will get the lucky dog. That'll give us 16 cars back on the lead lap. And Timmy Hill is back out. Transmission problems early. He's shown in 42nd place, 37 laps down. Here comes the Thunder and Herd down pit road. Doc, it's coming your way first.
45 miles an hour, Marty, and Kevin Harvick. You heard him on the radio, said he had to get out of the throttle. Car very, very free on the way in. They're going to make a track bar adjustment, slide air pressure, all 4 tires, to try to tighten him up on entry in turn 3 and turn 1. Jamie.
Kyle Busch looking for his first win here at Atlanta. He's a little bit loose. 4 tires, filling up with Sunoco fuel. 1.5 rounds down on the track bar. Dave?
Third place, Stenhouse, upper right. They'll go down to the track bar, 2 rounds, loose race car. For Carl Edwards, just a little loose, wet adjustment in the left rear. 4 tires. Marty, let's watch that race off pit road as the first pit stop cycle of the night finishes up. Carl is gone. It looks like he'll flip the throttle, but Kyle, a very fast pit stop.
And you called it. Kyle picks up the spot, and you can see everybody taking those 4 fresh tires as we anticipated. With the abrasiveness of this Atlanta Motor Speedway, the biggest loser, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., drops 2. As we'll go for a quick break and come back and reset it for you here at Atlanta. Hey fans, get all the scoop on what goes on in the pits during a 14.5-second stop with Craftsman's Virtual Pit Stop. Check it out by going to ESPN.com and just search Virtual Pit Stop. Carl Edwards was your race leader, and you're saying why? Well, yeah, he did get beat off pit road, but right there you can see from their view some equipment left the box.
You see the air hose just got hung on that left rear quarter panel. Yanks it out through the end of pit road. It's lucky somebody didn't get tangled up in that. You see some of the crew members actually did get tangled up.
This is the 4th race of the last 7 where he has had to serve a penalty. Now remember, he came back to win from a penalty at Nashville, but he'll have to go back and start from there. Let's reset it for you. Kyle Busch is now your race leader, our second leader. He's led his last 7 races here, but has never won here in the Nationwide Series. And he's going to take the high side with Kevin Harvick down below. Then Brad Keselowski, Ricky Stenhouse in row 2. Then Bain and Sorensen, Almirola and Casey Kane, Truex and Brian Scott round out your top 10. Pace car has pulled off. The field heading down as the fans on their feet again. And we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here at Atlanta.
Harvick gets a big run on the bottom. I'm not so sure about that outside lane on the restarts here, because it seems like as you get to turn 1, that less distance seems to make it up getting in the corner.
Yeah, you have a
33 had the great jump, but what are you hearing, Doc?
Kevin just said, guys, we may be in trouble. I have 0 water pressure right now. 0, he said. And Chris Carrier said, Kevin, just reset the gauge and let's check it a lap or 2. And Kevin hasn't responded since.
Well, what the problem is, that water pressure is just an indication that if the cooling system is sealed up. If the pressure goes down, it means you're leaking water, or you've lost that pressure somewhere, and that could cause big problems down the road. But if it's just a faulty gauge, which I haven't seen water blowing out of this car all night, so it could be that they just have a faulty reading there.
Yeah, and you talked about Harvick getting this jump on the bottom, and that outside might not be the place. You can run wide open pretty much through that corner. Sounds like everything's going to be okay. But you can go wide open through that corner on the bottom of the racetrack, the shorter way around, so that outside is going to take a few laps before that becomes an advantage.
While we watch Kevin on the left side of your screen battle for 6, that's Casey Kane going underneath the 32 of Reed Sorensen. And making it look pretty easy.
Yeah, he did. And it'll be interesting to see here as these teams have had a chance to make some adjustments on these cars. Who has made the right adjustments and can start moving forward and making a challenge up front?
Eric Almirola also taking a look. While you're watching, let's do a little cleanup from that restart. There were 5 waiver rounds. The most important, Jamie McMurray, he stayed out. Remember, he pitted 10 laps earlier than everybody for that flat tire. The 62 of Michael Annette, the 70 also of Dennis Setzer, Mike Bliss, and the 75 of Carl Long. So now you're caught up to date.
Well, that will put McMurray back on the lead lap. He just lost 1 lap in making that stop earlier. So he is back on the lead lap.
He's shown in 15th position right now.
He'll need pit stops to caution flags, something to work out for him to stay in that position. Though.
Yeah, one of the big problems he's going to have is that he's going to be a little bit slower with those 10 extra laps on the tires. He'll want to caution, fairly soon to try to get things even back out.
This guy hadn't been very slow. Ricky Stenhouse, he lost a couple of spots in the pits, but taking one of those back from Brad Keselowski now as he moves into third.
And he is 1.1 seconds behind the race leader and pulling away from Brad. And here comes Trevor Bayne trying to catch his teammate. He's just going to have to figure out how to get around Brad first. There's the cycle on Trevor where he started. Pretty much been in the top 10 the entire race. While we watch this battle, Dave, you've got more information on the 22.
One of the reasons, Marty, he might be being tracked down right now by Trevor Bayne. Trevor Bayne just radioed in about lack of mechanical grip in the front end. They tried to help the overall grip on that first pit stop. He took 4 tires. They went down on the track bar, made an air pressure adjustment, but he still doesn't seem to be really happy with the car that he did like in practice.
Hey, move that track bar, you can get some usually rear grip for you. Just gives you a little bit of security, but that will sometimes take away the front. You see Trevor Bayne now making the pass on Brad. He's just like Brad's really struggling with the car. He can't get it pointed where he's really wanting to go.
Yeah, one of the problems with that combination of adjustments with the track bar and the air pressure, the crew chief sits down there and scratches his head. Okay, which one do I need to take back? If it doesn't seem to be going the right direction. This is not an exact science.
So while all this continues, Kevin Harvick is still out front by 0.4 of a second over Kyle Busch with Ricky Stenhouse in third. Let's check over at the Craftsman Tech Garage. Tim, we heard him talking about water pressure.
Marty, these are sealed systems that we use on the cars. We don't use radiator caps. Before the race, we actually pressurize the water system through this valve right here. Then once you pressurize it, you're locked in. But we'll set that pressure at 50 pounds, maybe 60 pounds. But when the driver looks over there, doesn't have any water pressure, it's an indication to him that he's got a hole in the system somewhere. Guys?
And while you finish up, what a great battle. Look at this. 5 cars. Whoa, Allgaier on the right side. And look at the poor 20 of Ryan Truex just gets passed by 3 of them now. There goes Carl Edwards, Brian Scott, Elliott Sadler.
We've seen Ryan Truex in the middle of a 3-wide battle a couple of times tonight.
Yeah, he's first time in Atlanta here. He's getting quite a...
And I wanted to ask you, your first time here, what was it like for you?
Yeah, very intimidating. Of course, it was the old track at that time, but still very fast. Not a lot of grip even at that time as we see the lead here getting ready to change hands as Kyle Busch takes advantage of Harvick slipping a little, makes the pass. But it's a very intimidating place, very fast, and so many things happen so quickly. So Ryan Truex just trying to finish, get laps, and be better the next time that he comes here.
So Kyle retakes the lead for the second time here, and that'll be our 3rd lead change as we continue to focus on this battle. And you notice that 11, the Boise State colors. I'm not sure Brian picked the best race. They're playing the Georgia Bulldogs today here in Georgia, but he's of course from Idaho and very proud of it. And so far has a good run going. Running in that 11th position in the number 11 car. Let's check in on Carl Edwards' situation. Remember, he restarted 17th, Dave. He's up to 9th.
Yeah, into the top 10, Marty, but not free of trouble. Listen to what he said on the radio just a couple laps ago.
Yeah, it's got a shake to it. It's got a shake, and we'll see if it gets any worse. Shaking pretty good in the middle of the corner. Yeah, don't BS me. If somebody thinks that there's a loose wheel, you gotta tell us, okay? Just promise me.
Boy, look at this battle up front. All of a sudden, Kyle goes from being first back to being third, and Ricky Stenhouse wants a piece of the lead.
Yeah, Harvick tried to block him in there, but Ricky's not having any of that.
See a little tire smoke flying.
The 28, Derek Cope gets out of the way, realizing I'm in a bad spot.
Boy, Harvick digging hard on the bottom.
You'd think this was the last lap. We're only working lap 59.
Well, we saw, Kyle Busch took the lead from Harvick. Looked like he was just going to take it easily. Next thing we know, they got a three-way battle for the lead.
Got more lap traffic coming up in front. That's Morgan Shepherd. Everybody clears safely. Harvick down low. He's been hugging that bottom since the start of the race.
Wow, this is great racing. It's hard to stay on the bottom. One of these cars running this hard, as loose as you have to run them, like Kevin Harvick's doing there, and staying with Ricky Stenhouse, who's also doing a great job on the outside.
Stenhouse officially has led 2 laps so far tonight. He's our 4th different leader. They're side by side, coming out of the corner. Kyle Busch has the best seat in the house, but he doesn't want it. He wants to be in front of it.
I'm pretty sure Kyle's sitting there thinking, you boys just wear your tires out, and then I'll make an easy pass for the lead here in about 20 laps.
These 3 still going after each other. Here comes Kevin again down low. Kyle's going to take the rim ride.
Kevin Harvick's just got a little deal there, that running right on that yellow line. That left front's just digging right on the line. It really works for him.
Well, so far they're running nose to tail here at Atlanta. 61 laps complete.
There's a tap-dancing leprechaun that lives in my tree. His name is Handsome Pete, and he's my best friend.
This man is full of baloney, and so is our biscuit. And that's just the way it is. The made-from-scratch fried bologna biscuit at Hardee's.
Does it make a difference if a biscuit is baked fresh 18 days ago or baked fresh 18 minutes ago? We think so. Hardee's made-from-scratch biscuits. Baked fresh in store every morning.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, where we have completed 66 laps, and tires have been an issue.
Oh, they have so far, but not a lot. Jamie McMurray's got a problem right there. You got to remember one thing, guys. This is the toughest track on tires, and McMurray, a problem right off the bat.
Yeah, we saw. Talking to problems, Carl Edwards leaves the pit box with an air hose here and has to come back down pit road. Fortunately, no one got hurt, but boy, it cost him a lot of time because he was first out.
Edwards had the penalty in that situation, but he's now back up to 6th on the track right now. That is your leader, Kevin Harvick, out there in the 33 car. We've seen 4 different leaders and 6 different lead changes so far. Carl Edwards has led the most laps today. A little bit on the low caution side. Only 1 for 4 laps. And if you're keeping track of the points lead, Ricky Stenhouse, who is in 2nd, right behind the leader. And a caution on the track. Let's spin it back upstairs to Marty Reed.
The 87 of Joe Nemechek has gone around. He was 18th place in the lucky dog position. So obviously, isn't going to take advantage of that.
10-4.
So a tough break for Joe.
Nice save. Just got to nurse it back around here.
Doesn't look like he did any damage to the car.
Now, I can see the right front tire's flat, so you have to be extremely careful there.
I guess we'll be wondering if it was the tire that caused the spin.
Yeah, Sue, I got a flat tire.
I don't know. It looks like that he might have possibly got down on his left front, down below that yellow line, which is down the apron. He just got loose before that.
Clear.
I wouldn't think that was the right front tire.
Caution's be out here. Caution's out.
It just got loose. That flat tire is just from the spin.
So as you can see, everybody up on the wall as we'll hear at lap number 70, as this is an opportunity for Carl Edwards, who had worked his way back into the top 10. He was up to 6th. And as we mentioned, no free pass this time because Joe Nemechek was in the lucky dog position. Last time most of the leader stop was back on lap 43, so we made 26 laps. And again, tires are going to be the issue, guys.
Well, they are going to be an issue, and it's going to be an issue the rest of the way because if they're going to put tires on now, and they're going to have to last them about 42 laps on average. They've only got 3 sets of tires left. They put a set on now. They're going to have to run them about 40 laps or 42 laps before they make that next stop.
Yeah, this was the kind of the perfect scenario for Jamie McMurray, who needed to get tired. So he's going to get a break by getting in here with everybody else. He'd moved back up to 11th already.
Yeah, he pitted back on lap 33 when he had his tire issues. So he had made 36 laps on his set of tires. Here they come down pit road. Looks like we're going to send to Dr. Jerry Punch first.
Kevin Harvick coming in, Marty, and this is his 29 Cup crew that's pitting the car. Kevin said the car is better, but they want to go one more round on the track bar. Still free, entering the corner, 4 tires, and top it off with Sunoco fuel. Left lower part of your screen, Trevor Bayne. And the car is tight in the middle of the corner. They're going to go half around down on the track bar, 4 tires, but the car really coming to Trevor. Jamie.
Kyle Busch upper right-hand side said those last adjustments helped. He's still a little bit loose down on the track bar. Sunoco fuel. He's more frustrated about the horses under the hood, Dave.
Lower right, second place, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Tick free on entry, tick tight in the center, snappy free off. Just a half round down left rear wedge, half pound out of the left front tire. It's a little bit slow, it looks like, guys. He loses a lot of positions on pit road.
18 seconds on the pit stop, and look at the race off pit road. Kyle Busch's team does a great job, and Carl Edwards picks up 3, and Stenhouse loses 7. How about Brian Scott's team? Picking up 7 positions for him, and Brad Keselowski also loses big in this deal. He drops 5. So we'll reset it for you when we come back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Back here at Atlanta, we've completed 72 of 195 laps, and for the second pit stop in a row, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., our points leader, has had a bad pit stop where he's lost track position, and this one was much worse than the first go-around.
See, the car comes in. We're going to watch this real time. You can see we're going to be timing it. You can see the right side. We're looking for about a 6-7 second drop on the right. 6.3, that's a pretty good drop. It looks about 4 seconds on the jack, and we get right at 4 seconds. Right here, you're looking for about 4 more. You get about 7 more seconds it takes on that left side.
He lost 2 spots the first go-around, 7 on this one. And the pit crew got together, and let's listen in.
Here, guys, we got to do better than that. We can lose 1 or 2. Can't lose this many. Not on this racetrack. We'll get them better.
So that was Ricky, and a different Ricky Stenhouse. I mean, you notice there he's being cheerleader. He's not chewing his guys out.
Well, it's just one bad stop. I mean, you're going to make mistakes. Just try to minimize them, especially when you run for a championship.
Well, Kyle Busch has taken the lead off pit road on both pit stops. He's going to start, and this time he's down low. Kevin Harvick side by side. Edwards, Bayne, Kane, and Sorensen, your top 6, and we're racing again.
It's like Kyle may have learned something from the last restart.
Yeah,
the bottom side.
Any doubt? Yeah. Let's see if that's had anything to do with it, or Harvick's car just that good on new tires right here.
We can let you know that the 51 of Jeremy Clements is being posted. He did not line up properly for the restart. He'll have to do a pass-through penalty.
Trevor Bayne now has a little track position. See what he can do with it.
Looking for his first ever Nationwide Series win, and he is right there behind the 18 with the 33 of Harvick on the high side. Here comes Reed Sorensen into the mix as well. He's side by side with Carl Edwards. Kyle has not been able to clear the 33 of Harvick.
Now, right there, he got a nice little run there. It looked like Harvick might have got in a little bit hard. Here comes Trevor Bayne trying to take that second spot away.
So just as we said, he didn't clear him. Not only did he clear him, he took about a 5-car length lead. Here comes Carl taking a look inside of the 16. Thinks better of it.
Well, we know this is not the groove that Kevin Harvick wants to be in. He's going to try to get himself clear, go right back to the bottom of the racetrack as he gets down to turn 3 now.
So it's Busch, Bayne, Harvick, Edwards, and Casey Kane. And look at Brad Keselowski. He's trying to go underneath the 32 of Sorensen and does.
Yeah, it looked like Brad and them stayed in and made some changes on that race car. We're a little later coming out on that pit stop, but it looks like it's paying big dividends right now.
Oh, the 62 of Michael Annett is around.
Try and let it roll, bud. Try and let it roll. No chance of hitting anything. Just let it roll.
Our third caution of the day. It looks like he's been able to keep it from hitting anything other than chewing up the yard.
It's like he even got lucky on that splitter. It looked like he tore it up too bad in the grass.
Look up on this end. Did you get anything, Michael? Oh, it's just the splitter. I don't know if you got a chance to see the splitter there when I
good news is the splitter is okay. He was 21st, one lap down at the time of the spin.
And you can see where the splitter went through the grass, but he got lucky that it didn't tear it up. Grass, not so lucky. And he just got sideways and lost it.
We were already talking about how you're going to manage tires for 42 laps. Now he's even in worse shape.
He used that setup.
Yeah. I find it interesting, too. The spotter said, "You okay? Not going to hit anything." Well, that's kind of hard to believe as you're sitting there spinning around. You're not exactly sure of that. I know it looks that way from up top, but it takes you a second to kind of get your bearings.
Well, Mike Bliss is going to get the free pass, as that'll give us 19 cars back on the lead lap, and we do not expect anyone to pit unless they've got an issue because, like we said, it just came in. Well, back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, this race has lived up to everything we expected, as tire wear has been the key issue, and it has chewed up a number of cars. You can see the end result on a few of them that have slid up against the wall. We've had a total of 3 cautions for 11 laps, and there's 2 of the reasons why, as the 87 and now the 62 of Michael Annette does a little manicuring of the infield grass. And meanwhile, Kyle Busch finds himself back in the race lead. We welcome you back to the NASCAR Nationwide Series here at Atlanta, the Great Clips 300. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. Don't forget that ESPN wraps up the holiday weekend with an ACC battle. It's Monday night, the Miami Hurricanes against the Maryland Terrapins. And which new coach, Al Golden or Randy Edsall, wins for the first time in their ACC debut? It's college football primetime. It's part of Dick's Sporting Goods kickoff week on ESPN Monday, 8 Eastern. It's also available in spectacular 3D. Make that football feel like it's coming right at you. Right now, let's get an update from Dr. Jerry Punch. What's going on with that 16 car, Trevor Bayne?
Well, Marty, this is the second week for veteran crew chief Chad Norris to work with Trevor Bayne. And Chad said, you know what, I understand. He is a kid. He is an aggressive, incredibly talented kid, but he tends to overdrive. He drives the car in the corner and punishes the car. He said, so starting this week, last week I was nice. This week, I've been chewing his behind all week long to say, be patient, don't overdrive it. Let's run the 60 line, the Carl Edwards line, and you see what's going to happen if you're patient. You're running quick up top. The car's consistent. You got good tires, and you may have a shot to win this thing. They burn.
Doc Brad Keselowski runs 6th. Looked to his right during this caution and opined this.
In a recession, I think the most job-secure man in the world is the painter of the walls at Atlanta and Darlington. That's the contract to have, isn't it? You ain't kidding, dang.
Seeing the black stripes on the walls, thankfully they're not his in any way. His car a little bit better on that run, but hard to tell until he gets back into free air, Marty.
I personally want the light bulb concession in Las Vegas. That's a good one to have.
Yeah, but that wall paint job's pretty good if it's
yeah, it sure is. All right, let's reset it for you because it's going to be Kyle Busch up front with Trevor Bayne right alongside. Kevin Harvick, Carl Edwards in row 2. Then Casey Kane, Brad Keselowski, Reed Sorensen in 7th, Ricky Stenhouse 8th, Justin Allgaier and Brian Scott round out your top 10. You're saying, where's Elliott Sadler? He is 16th. He came back in to make more adjustments. And we have a total of 19 cars on the lead lap. And the green flag's in the air, and we're racing again. And Kyle is on the inside again.
Yeah, and this is where you really spin your tires if you're not careful. You've had some laps on them now. You don't have that new rubber, so saw Kyle get a really good jump on Trevor Bayne right there on the outside.
It looked like Carl almost ran over him.
Just another thing that as a young driver you have to learn. Ricky Stenhouse learning how to pass here quickly.
Well, this is the second time he's had to do this as he is working his way quickly back up. He's up into the 7th spot right now. You saw the 2 of Elliott Sadler still riding the high line. As they come across the stripe, it'll be Busch, Harvick, Bayne, Edwards, and Kane.
Yeah, the one thing about Ricky Stenhouse right now, he doesn't need to get frustrated with what's happening in the pits and try to do anything drastic. He has both of his competitors that he's racing for the championship beat here tonight. If he's just patient and takes his time, he certainly has a top 3 car. where Reed Sorensen and Elliott Sadler are struggling just a little bit more.
Side by side with Casey Kane. Kane's going to be on pole for tomorrow night's Sprint Cup race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Kane holds him off, and now all of a sudden Justin Allgaier feeling a little racy as he is trying to work his way underneath. Let's get an update from Dave Burns.
Car running well, as DJ pointed out, but funny you should mention it, DJ. It's not the kind of night where Ricky Stenhouse, even though he is good in the points versus the competitors, likes to play defense. His crew chief, Mike Kelly, told me this morning, Ricky's a always go out and get it kind of guy. He doesn't like any sort of prevent defense, so look for him to try to win the race tonight, obviously, but run as hard as he can each and every time.
And as you finish up, Carl Edwards takes the high side around Kevin Harvick in the battle for third.
Yeah, he followed his teammate Trevor Bayne right on around the outside of Harvick. See Trevor Bayne going up there to try to get to Kyle Busch. He wants to lead in this race.
Okay, that 16 car has been strong from the start of the race. He didn't have good track position, but if I looked at that monitor, he was one of the fastest cars during both of the early runs.
Yeah, I really like the line that he's running there. He's not up to the top. He's not on the bottom, so he's not totally abusing the tires, but he's really getting a nice run off the corner, utilizing that Ford horsepower that he has.
The Fords are running second, third, and seventh right now for Roush Fenway Racing.
Yeah, he's got the outside covered right here. Yeah, Kyle.
He's got to run. What's he going to do with it?
Here he goes. He's going to go underneath him, side by side, heading for the corner.
I think he wanted that outside lane. But hey, he'll take it down here on the bottom, take the lead from Kyle.
They do exactly what Kyle just did to you. Slide up in front, and you got it. There you go.
Trevor Bayne is going to lead this lap here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Let's get an update on the 18, Jamie Little.
Well, despite all the laps he's led at Atlanta, Kyle Busch has never won here. It's only one of 4 tracks he's never won at in the Nationwide Series. So I asked his crew chief, have you prepared any differently as he works side by side with Trevor Bayne to take the lead once again? I asked him if they'd bring anything differently or do anything to prepare differently. He said no, and then he laughed and said, well, we did bring a brand new race car here, the first one in 3.5 months. They want this win, guys.
And now all of a sudden, here comes Carl Edwards as he got a great run, and he is underneath the 18 and may take over and make it a 1-2 Roush position here in the race.
Man, you see how Kyle had to get out of the throttle in 3 and 4, and now Carl has to get out of it. See his car wiggle.
Yeah, what happened to Kyle down there in 3 and 4? Trevor Bayne got right down on his quarter panel, got Kyle a little bit loose, had to get out of the throttle, like got Carl a big run.
On board with Edwards.
Trevor Bayne is driving this thing. If he keeps it off the wall, he'll have a chance to win, but he really is on the steering wheel.
And it's going to cost him the lead. You saw him getting loose there as here goes Kyle taking a look down low. And just what they were talking about just a few minutes ago from down on pit road about overdriving the car. Be careful.
Yeah, you have to be careful with the tires. I know we keep saying tires, but that's what this place is about. And if you try to get too much out of them too soon, then you're going to pay the price.
One thing I've seen here tonight, though, it seems like the car that gets the lead gets that air on the front of the car, and the car gets looser, and it allows that car from behind to catch back up. I'm not so sure that these cars aren't just getting looser as the night goes on, and that makes it hard to hold the lead.
Well, we've already had 11 lead changes between 6 different leaders. Right now, it's Kyle Busch out in front of Trevor Bayne.
At Atlanta Motor Speedway, we've just seen our 12th lead change of the night. Carl Edwards is back out in front in the 60 car. While we were away, he worked his way around Kyle Busch in that 18.
I'll tell you what, he's working the bottom of this racetrack, and Nicole, generally at this track, the top side of the track is the fastest. But Brad, you see Carl Edwards on the bottom there really getting this car running fast. We've seen several cars so far doing that.
Yeah, really trying to get a little side draft there off of Kyle. Goes ahead of him. You see Kyle come right back. Both of those cars are super fast, and you see why. Glued to the bottom.
Well, those are the guys that are running first and second. How about the guy who is running in third, Trevor Bayne?
Yeah, it's been interesting, Trevor Bayne. This is a guy, like I say, he's won the Daytona 500, but he's yet to win a nationwide race, and we keep expecting him to get there. He's so fast. He's got speed. Maybe tonight will be the night that he finally breaks through, Rusty.
I'll tell you, that's a good choice right there, Brad. The guy I'm really looking at right now is Casey Kane driving a number 38 car. He's been really good. He's our pole sitter for the big race tomorrow, the Cup race here in Atlanta. He's learned a lot. He's starting to understand a lot about tire management. He just moved it into 5th place. In fact, he just fell back to 6th right now, but he's been running 5th, but he's learning a lot about what he's going to need tomorrow in the big 500-miler here in Atlanta.
Yeah, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. just got around Casey Kane. Taking a look at why perhaps Stenhouse was able to get around him. A bit of a moment.
Man.
Wow, Kane just gets right in the side of Timmy Hill right there. A lot of smoke. We'll see if he's got a little damage. I'm sure his crew's talking to him. There's a little dust up right there. Looks like the car's okay, but the right rear tire, Brad, looks like it got scuffed up pretty big time.
And we're always talking, as DJ said in the booth up there, tires. That will be a problem for Casey Kane.
Well, let's get up to speed with Nationwide Insurance and talk a little bit about this championship. Dave, what do you got on the 6 car?
Well, he came in as the championship leader. He's led 3 laps tonight, but it got put back when they had a bad pit stop. Still smarting a little bit from that as we check back on the lead, perhaps. There it is. 60 car getting now passed back by the 18 of Kyle Busch. And Kyle will try to squeeze up off the corner. Boy, that was close to Carl. Back to the lead, Busch. Back to Ricky Stenhouse. And the condition of their car, not happy with it, radioed this to his crew.
Too loose in, too freaking tight in the center. I can't carry any speed through the center. 3 off.
When a driver uses freaking, he's a little bit frustrated. Ricky trying to get back up to the front, and that good clean air. Vince?
The 31 of Justin Allgaier came into this race 5th in points. Currently, he's running 8th in the race. A little bit loose in the center to exit, but starting to tighten up a bit. And he is best when he is running the low line through turns 1 and 2. In fact, crew chief Jimmy Elledge said, when I can't see you from the pit box, that's when your times are the best. It's the 100th career nationwide race for Justin Allgaier tonight. Doc?
And back behind them in points, Reed Sorensen sitting 10 points behind the leaders. He is 10th in the race tonight. He's a local boy from Peachtree City, Georgia. He started 12th, now being shown in 10th. And according to Reed, the car still tight, middle of the corner. Now, his crew chief, Trent Owens, was the crew chief last night in the truck race for Ryan Newman. Newman finished 5th and learned a lot about air pressure changes late. We think will help Reed Sorensen in the final 90 laps. Now, behind them, 4th in points. And tonight being shown 12th or 11th on the racetrack, Eric Almirola. Almirola driving the 88 car for Junior Motorsports. This is the same team that Jamie McMurray won this race with a year ago. Right now, Eric battling with a very loose race car, letting it drift up the racetrack so the car can't turn, coming off real free on exit. Vince.
Well, and Elliott Sadler in the 2 car, he came in 2nd in the championship points, but he's running 16th right now. They've been chasing the setup with crew chief Ernie Cope all night. They took a big swing at it on the last pit stop on lap 79. Did it help? Here's the radio from Elliott Sadler as you look at the battle for the lead.
A lot worse this run. We're way looser on entry, way looser on exit, and actually tighter now through the center.
So it's not so good for Elliott Sadler, much better for Carl Edwards. He leads Kyle Busch.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Carl Edwards is your leader. A lot to talk about on this motorsports calendar. The American Le Mans Series comes your way. And the Baltimore Grand Prix tomorrow at 4 Eastern on ABC. Then this weekend is a huge weekend for the U.S. Nationals. It's the Mac Tools U.S. Nationals qualifying tomorrow at 11 a.m. and then 5 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN2. The finals are, of course, Monday at noon Eastern. Also on ESPN2, of course, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series tomorrow night, presented by Pennzoil tomorrow on ESPN at 6:30. And next weekend, the NASCAR Nationwide Series, once again, races under the lights at Richmond, presented by Jack Daniels. That's Friday at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. 86 laps to go here at Atlanta. On board with the 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who's currently running in 5th, but just a moment ago, take a look at this.
He just gets out in the corner right here. This car has been really loose throughout the night. I mean, he's been holding on this baby back and forth. He used a lot of racetrack up. And I would suspect, Brad, that these tires on the back of his car aren't going to last much longer.
Carl Edwards is still out front by about a second and a half over the 18 car of Kyle Busch. It is Stenhouse's teammate, Trevor Bayne, who is in 3rd. 5-hour Energy Rapid Recap is going to get us caught up so far with what has happened. If you were just joining us, there's Carl Edwards. At Atlanta, you always have to talk about tires.
Yeah, you got to be real concerned about him. And Jamie McMurray, right off the bat, guys, had a problem with his right front tire. The crew's looking at it, trying to figure out what went wrong and make adjustments so it doesn't happen again.
We see Carl Edwards on pit road early on, had an air wrench get hung up in the bumper there, had to come back down pit road. Like I said, no one was hurt, but he was first man off at that point in time. They cost him good track position, but he has made it up.
Not the only driver having pit issues tonight. Ricky Stenhouse lost a lot of spots on pit road, lost 7 spots.
Oh, a lot of spots. Crew's frustrated right now. Left rear problem. You see the crew chief like, what in the world is going on? And now the car's not handling too good.
And then Trevor Bayne, currently running 3rd.
Staying in 3rd. He's doing a good job keeping that car up front. He's not killing his race car. Did go out and run hard for a little while there, but now he's back running 3rd. Very calm. Good winning.
Back to the 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He is currently, as they run right now, the points leader. He was the points leader coming into this, but we heard a bit ago some frustration from him over the radio. If you are his crew chief, how do you keep him in line and keep him focused on what's important?
Just give him, what Ricky needs to do is just tell his crew chief the correct information, and the crew then has got to respond to him. They got to communicate. A driver loves to hear a crew chief talking to him. When he hears silence, that upsets him, and the crew chief needs to be giving him information, calming him down, and tell him, look, buddy, we'll work on it. Hang in there with us. I know you're upset. We'll fix it.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of confidence in Mike Kelly, his crew chief. You see him right there now. He's sawing on that wheel. That's a bad, loose race car, but he's not the only one. He needs to realize that everyone throughout this entire field, they're struggling with grip. He's just another one of the guys.
Struggling with grip, yet he is still running in 5th, about 4.5 seconds behind his teammate, the leader. Dave, what do you have on Carl Edwards?
He's going to have to stop just past lap 130 or so for fuel at this point, Nicole. As the car gets just a little wiggle there, listen to what he said about the handling.
I'm just a little loose, several 1 and 2, and then it carries that loose off. That's where he's beating me.
He's led a lot so far. He's led a lot so far tonight, Jamie.
And of course, Kyle Busch is 2nd, so of course he's not happy with the handling of his car. This is his observation.
Those guys start out freer than I do. They're faster than I am, and now I'm loose, and they're still faster than I am. I don't know what to do. It goes too loose, man.
And as crew chief said, I know what to do. We're going to keep going in the direction of the last round of adjustments that we made. They're going to make track bar and air pressure adjustment coming up in about 15 laps, Doc.
Part of the learning curve this week for young Trevor Bayne. Chad Norris said your feedback has got to be accurate and concise. Listen in.
Here's stepping out pretty good on me off of 2. Middle wiggle like twice on the bottom and the center, because it'll get a little tight and then it'll step loose and it'll just go back and forth until the exit would.
Pretty darn good feedback, I think, for a young bike man, talking about how the car is stepping out. You can actually visibly see the car get sideways coming up off the corner.
Well, we should let you know that Trevor Bayne was running 3rd. Now he is in 4th as the 33 car of Kevin Harvick, who is dicing through traffic right now, had gotten around him. So as they run right now, it's Carl Edwards, Kyle Busch, and Kevin Harvick. 1, 2, 3, 116 laps complete at Atlanta. More when we come back.
74 laps to go here at Atlanta. That's race leader Carl Edwards. He just put Elliott Sadler a lap down. Sadler was running in the 15th position, and Sadler says, I've had enough fun. I got to come in and get 4 fresh ones. Vince.
Boy, it has been a handful all night long for Elliott Sadler. They've taken some major swings at it, but it's still just too loose. And he says he's losing a lot of time. They weren't going to come and pit for another 15 laps or so. They're going to go ahead and come, as you see now, 4 tires, get a little wedge and some air pressure adjustment as well. The 7 car of Jamie McMurray, he says he's still not giving it 100%. They feel like they've got a good race car, so he's trying to take care of the tires, but they've been playing a little catch-up after they cut that right front early.
Ricky Stenhouse.
Hey guys, the 6 is coming down pit road right now. Sorry about that, Marty. As he enters pit road, the 6 car during this run has been too tight in the center, really free in and off. So expect a wrench to go to the rear of that car again from crew chief Mike Kelly, requiring that. 4 fresh tires. There is a chassis adjustment. And he was saying also that the car being on that loose off condition felt like he was really using up his rear tires. Doc?
Reed Sorensen on and off pit road with the 32 car, and they've been having trouble with the car being very, very loose all day, just trying to hang in the top 10 and ease in on that points championship. He still has one more stop. Dave.
Brad Keselowski called himself to pit road. He said, I got really, really free off in the 22 car, and then he said, I'm going to need to pit. I feel like I may have corded the right rear tire. They're going to make a wedge adjustment for the chassis. We're going to change all 4 tires, put them on the car. Hopefully, we'll see. It's quite a few laps till the end here. Too many for fuel, and certainly too many for a set of tires. Jamie?
And Kyle Busch reported. You see Brad Keselowski working on the left side. Now it is Kyle Busch. He said he wants to keep going in that same direction. Those adjustments helped, but he's still loose and needs to be tight. Earlier on, they jack up the left-hand side. Track bar adjustment, 4 tires, and fill it up. Vince.
The 31 of Justin Allgaier, we mentioned he came into this race 5th in points. They don't feel like they've got a real shot at the championship, but they want to win races. Do they have that kind of car? They're trying to get there. They're going down a round and a half on the right side track bar. 4 tires for Allgaier. Jamie?
Jason Leffler running the number 30 tonight. He is loose as well. 4 tires, fuel, wedge. The track, the car is just all over the place, down and away, Doc.
Kevin Harvick says the car is as bad as it's been all night long. Very, very loose. Major wedge added on the left rear of that car. Also the 38 car, Casey Kane in the 38. They're talking about the car. They went up on the track bar, 4 tires and fuel. We mentioned Trevor Bayne as well. The 16 car of Trevor Bayne coming in, talking about the car being snappy loose in the back. Had a car that led the race, snappy loose adjustment, major air pressure adjustment on the 16. And here's Eric Almirola. We told you the car had been so loose all night long, and Pop Fury said we're going to go ahead and make some major changes on this car. They will have one more pit stop with about 35 laps to go. 4 tires, top it off with Sunoco fuel, air pressure, and as yet no chassis. They're going to try to do it all with air pressure. Jamie.
And Ryan Truex making his debut in the Joe Gibbs Racing Machine. He'll be in this car 6 races for the rest of the season. He's saying he was loose early up top, so he was running the bottom. Now he says he's really loose on the bottom, learning this racetrack for the first time. As they work around, it's 4 tires once again, filled it up with Sunoco fuel.
And as we see, Carl Edwards still out there. He is the only car out on the lead lap, but now you see the 30 fire around him. That is Jason Leffler. He got hung up by the 72, and why would he continue to stay out? His lap times have really fallen off.
They really have. I don't really understand this.
One more time, and we can do it on one stop. We'll be okay. Just be smart. Clean the grill.
There's your answer.
Okay. All this is going on. Dave, that's the 6 car?
We talked about both the tires on the 22 and the 6. 22 said they all look good. This is the right front of the 6 car you see there on the left. Really good thing that Ricky Stenhouse came to pit road when he did, Marty.
I think he got all the good out of that one.
Stenhouse in 5th place right now, and everybody from second on back at least 1 lap down. And this strategy of staying out, what do you think?
Well, he's trying to make it on one more stop, and it's pretty risky. I mean, we see that's his teammate's tire we just looked at. If he could make it, a few more laps, he could make it to the end of the race on fuel. Risky with those tires.
Well, give you an idea. His last lap was 34.2 seconds. Kyle Busch in second place, 32.1. 2 seconds better.
Right now he's got a lap on what do you need, okay? Go hard. Just go hard here for a couple laps. Okay. Do you want me to save fuel to the end? Because I can't go hard now and save you fuel.
So the question is,
he just wants to know how hard to run. I mean, he wants to know, do we need to save fuel now or just in that last segment?
He keeps hitting
Get in here. 4,000.
Well, they've had enough. They're coming
65 to go.
So with 65 laps to go, that's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. And Dave, he's coming your way.
And you heard Carl describe his car, so pretty happy on the night. There is a wrench in the tire carrier's hand as Carl comes down pit road. So as they make their stop, we'll keep an eye on whether Kyle flashes by. You expect him to, because he's been out on fresher tires longer. So the crew going to work for fresh tires for Carl Edwards. We'll also take a look and see whether the right front of his car was the same as his teammate, Ricky Stenhouse. Finishing up the work, Kyle flashes by on the front straightaway, and Carl will lose the lead for sure.
So as all this unfolds, the drama is just beginning to build, and will the strategy pay off for the 60 of Carl Edwards, or will it backfire because they stayed out too long?
Well, see how it works out right there. You see just how much lead Kyle Busch has by having those fresh tires for 10 laps or so over Carl.
And the 66 is in, Jamie Little.
And Stephen Wallace making his 5th start here, saying the car is loose. They're going to wait on fuel and pack it as full as possible. Also make a wedge adjustment and air pressure adjustment for Steve Wallace, who worked his way up into the 10th position. Marty?
14 cars back on the lead lap, and they're still waiting to get all the fuel in. Long stop, 19 seconds for Steven. He's going to be 1 lap down. Right now, Kyle Busch is your leader. Harvick is second. Kasey Kahne is third. And caution, is it on the track? No.
And Kyle Busch coming in for a fuel-only and track bar adjustment. They said this is going to be the time that counts. They need to make the car the best now. Vince?
The 7 of Jamie McMurray, he says he needs to free up just a little bit, so they made a slight track bar adjustment and fuel only.
Vince, Carl Edwards was going to stay out. They thought they could make it, but then they questioned whether or not they could make it if the race extends beyond the scheduled distance. So they came in and topped off, did not change tires. They do have a full fresh set behind the wall just in case they want to pit later.
And when this caution came out, and we'll explain to you what happened, that's our 4th caution, as Eric McClure got into the wall again and scraped it. Carl was actually 11.5 seconds behind the race lead, so it was, in one respect, a good break. We won't find out, though, if that strategy would have worked, but as you can see, they came back in, and here's what happened.
See the 14, Eric McClure once again getting a little bit loose.
No.
Had a couple of problems like that, kind of the same spot as last time over in turn 2.
So he's been 2 of our 4 cautions, and the free pass will go to Brian Scott. Right now we have 14 cars on the lead lap. Unfortunately for Elliott Sadler, he's not one of them. He's shown in 16th position.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Atlanta is brought to you by Ink, the new business card from Chase. Make your mark with Ink.
Back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, where we have had 6 different leaders, 16 lead changes, 22 is the record. Brian Scott got the lucky dog with 13 cars on the lead lap, and our 4th caution's about to come to an end with Kevin Harvick taking the low line. Alongside is Kasey Kahne, Justin Allgaier, Kyle Busch in row 2, then Edwards and Brad Keselowski in row number 3. McMurray and Stenhouse, pace car is off. Green flag in the air, and here we go with now 57 laps to go.
Kevin Harvick spun the tires there, couldn't get going.
And look at Allgaier taking advantage. And here comes Kyle Busch. Remember, these tires had 1 heat cycle on them. Then we had the quick caution.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier that's the trouble that you have to be aware of and ready to clean those tires off really good. And then as you just try to power up, it spins the rear tires. It's what Harvick did, and couldn't get a bite and couldn't get going.
3 wide. There's Ricky Stenhouse along with Trevor Bayne. The 7 of Jamie McMurray. Right behind him, the 30 of Jason Leffler. That's all for 7th on back. Allgaier becomes our 7th different leader and our 17th lead change. Here's something I want to throw out. Remember Allgaier back at Chicago and Carl Edwards? Edwards led with 60 laps to go, and he ran out of fuel. We had 57 laps to go. Crew chief, do you let him go, or are you thinking conservation a little bit?
I think they got enough fuel right now, and I expect us to have another caution. I wouldn't be telling my driver to save any fuel right now. You see Carl Edwards, he's back behind all these guys with fresher tires. Remember, he stayed out about 7 or 8 laps longer than most of these cars in front of him, so he should have a lot better tires, and we know he's had a great car all night. Meanwhile, you see these guys up front having fun.
This is a great group here, all 6 cars, pretty much nose to tail, and Kasey Kahne's going to take the lead as he comes flying by the stripe. Kevin Harvick's going to follow along below, and Allgaier says, I'm going to try and fight back, but not going to be able to do it. Here comes Kyle Busch. Vince, what are you hearing on that 31?
Well, Justin Allgaier's been fighting loose throughout much of the night, as many of these drivers have. But it's interesting, he and crew chief Jimmy Elledge working together for their first year. Remember, Elledge was with the Red Bull Cup team last year. Allgaier moving over to Turner Motorsports this year. Said they're just starting to really hit their stride from a communication standpoint, and they feel that's making them better on race day because they're unloading better at the beginning of the weekend. Case in point, this weekend, Allgaier running up toward the front again.
And boy, does he need it right now. It would get him back into the championship chase. He'd be 61 points behind. He would move back into 4th place. And look at, he's getting sliced and diced by both Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch. And here comes Brad Keselowski.
Wow, look how loose Keselowski's car is.
Yeah, I see Brad be able to really take off on when the tires and the air pressure's down. He could really go. But this really hurts him as he gets a few laps on his tires.
Let's give you another example about a lap ago.
Man, look at Brad Keselowski's car is just really, really loose.
I think on the other side of that, the 18 and the 60 of Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards, their cars start out a little bit on the tight side after this. Takes them a few laps to come in, but they're much better in the longer run. As everybody else gets extremely loose, their cars are manageable then.
52 laps to go. Ricky Stenhouse goes around Justin Allgaier. So Allgaier, after looking good at the beginning of this run, is now slipping back. And here comes the 7 of Jamie McMurray up on him quickly.
It was a calculated gamble by the 31 car because they stayed out there and got that lead. Tried to get some clean air on the car. Looks like it's not going to work. They also are going to have to make another pit stop if it goes green.
There goes Jamie, last year's winner at this race. He was driving the 88 for Junior Motorsports. In that one, he's in the 7 tonight. Allgaier's trying to fight back. Vince, give us some more information on that 31.
Well, Allgaier definitely likes running down low, and when you saw him going backwards, he was on the high line, and he said when he was up top, it was way too high. Had his fans off, switched those back on, but said his car is much better when he's hugging the line, and there you see him back on that yellow line.
And he is managing to at least hold off for the moment Jamie McMurray. But now McMurray clears, and here comes the 30 of Jason Leffler.
Yeah, you can manage a car at this racetrack, a loose race car, down on the bottom a little bit more. You try to take that car up top where you really have to hustle, be in the gas a lot. It really is difficult to manage that. So you can do that down on the bottom sometimes. We see second place changing hand, Carl Edwards back towards the front.
And he makes quick work of Kevin Harvick as he completes the pass and opens up a little bit of distance. He is 1.1 seconds behind Casey Kane.
Well, I think Carl has shown after he had to go to the back after that air wrench got stuck, he's shown he is really the class of the field. This car is reasonably fast on the start with tires, getting good fuel mileage. It's not wearing out the tires. Definitely the man to beat.
He's led the most laps tonight, 78. Second on that list is Kyle Busch. Let's get an update from pit road. Dr. Jerry Pons.
Marty, just like Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch, this guy, Casey Kane, now believes that this current configuration Nationwide car is a big help to him in terms of what happens the next day in the Sprint Cup race. He said, by driving the Nationwide car now, the new car, I learned more about the tires, the line, and the track changes. And now, in reverse order, they just did something on the Nationwide car for Casey a moment ago that came from Kenny Francis, the Cup crew chief. Kenny found that a right side air pressure adjustment, right front and right rear, makes the Cup car take off, and this really helped Casey Kane here a moment ago. Dave.
And Doc, on the 60 car of Carl Edwards, DJ mentioned the one hiccup on pit road tonight, but otherwise, as far as handling and setup, they've been pretty spot on. It may be the way the crew chief Mike Beam approached practice. They did the first practice of today in the cool of the morning, 24 laps. They sat out final practice. I asked Mike why. He said we didn't want to kid ourselves or over-adjust the race car. We were pretty happy with it, and we decided to stay where we were. And Carl can sure wheel it when he has to, can't he?
Carl right now 1.3 seconds behind Casey Kane and 0.6 of a second ahead of third place Kevin Harvick. And of course he's gone over 1,000 laps led this season. So has Kyle Busch. But Kyle's never won here, and you see him back there in fourth place. Stay with us. We got 46 to go. It's far from over.
Talking big money, shootout Saturday.
Where winners are celebrated, champions are crowned, and legends are born. Home with the biggest events in motorsports, ESPN and ABC.
Labor Day weekend, a big race weekend. Of course, we got Cup action tomorrow night here at Atlanta and up in Indianapolis. The NHRA, the big Mac Tools U.S. Nationals, IndyCars, an inaugural event in Baltimore. And we've also got the American Le Mans Series from Baltimore and their Grand Prix will be coming up on ABC, and there it is, as they'll be on at 4 o'clock Eastern and 2 o'clock Pacific. Then qualifying for the U.S. Nationals at 11 a.m. and 5 Eastern on ESPN2, and the finals Monday at noon Eastern on ESPN2. And our NASCAR Sprint Cup Series from Atlanta, presented by Pennzoil, that's tomorrow night at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN. And next Friday night under the lights will be at Richmond. It's presented by Jack Daniels, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. Back here, it's Casey Kane leading Carl Edwards by 0.6 of a second. That's a battle for 7th position as Brad Keselowski and Jamie McMurray swapping it right there as McMurray goes in front of him. And look at Brad.
That car really is evil loose.
Guys, during the break, we were doing some calculations. We heard from pit road. Casey Kane, remember, he stopped on lap 125. Edwards in second place at lap 135. And the 38 may be 3 laps short. Doc, what are you hearing down there?
Marty, that's exactly what they have told their driver based on their calculation. That's the best case scenario, that Casey Kane would be 3 laps short, but they're also concerned. Remember, these tires will go a long way, and a lot of people don't think these tires can make it almost 70 laps. That's a lot of punishment for a very worn racetrack. Dave.
Dr. 60 car of Carl Edwards, he can make it on fuel if he saved about 1 lap. He was told that, and Carl's a very good fuel saver, so figure he's there. The interesting thing is, 1 set of fresh tires behind the wall for the 60. If the caution comes out late, do they come and get that speedy fresh rubber? Doc, back to you.
Remember, Kevin Harvick did not come when others peeled off and came down for gas only. He had only run 8 laps on his tires, but unfortunately now you take those 8 laps, that puts him about 9.5 to 10 laps shy on fuel. Kevin Harvick, like most veteran drivers, believe there will be at least 1 more yellow flag and where he will come on pit road and put 4 fresh stickers and be fine. But if he doesn't get a caution flag, he is 10 laps shy. Jamie.
Jason Ratcliffe, the crew chief for Kyle Busch, told me earlier today, the years past, their car has been good up until 50 to go, and then it falls off so much they can never close the deal and get the win. So tonight they're trying to focus on that, but it's not working out. Kyle Busch just coming on the radio moments ago saying this car has not flinched 10 laps, and we fall off. So he's very frustrated sitting inside that car.
And remember, he's never won here in the Nationwide Series, and banging the splitter on the bottom of the racetrack where it flattens out there, and whoa, look out as he goes around the slower traffic of Jennifer Jo Cobb. So he is still running in 4th place. The man up front, Casey Kane, if you're wondering, has 7 Nationwide Series wins. His last one was Bristol in August of 2007. Our 5th caution tonight has just come out here with 32 laps to go. Michael Annett, for the 2nd time tonight, has taken it around. This one coming out of turn number 2. The first one was coming out of 4 as he went across the grass.
See, right in the middle of the track, just on that exit. Could have gotten one of those seams, which will give you a bad feeling and send you spinning. Lack of grip there. So, 2nd time he spun, not hit anything.
You can see that's Stuart Cooper, the crew chief for Casey Kane. He's glad to see that caution come out.
Well, this has changed the looks of things.
Oh, yeah, it's changed everything.
Well, the 62 was 20th, a lap down, and his misfortune is his teammate's good fortune because the free pass is going to go to Stephen Wallace. So he will get back on the lead lap, and they'll give us 14 cars. And boy, you're right, Casey Kane's gang, very happy to see this caution come out.
Yeah, I think Kevin Harvick, too. I don't believe Kevin was able to make it. He would get some fresh tires on his car, too. That's a real shootout now.
Yeah, this will reset everything. We'll have us a real old-fashioned shootout.
And this will be the last set of fresh tires that everybody will have. So strap them on, cinch up the belts, and here we go.
They can just put the pit box up after this stop.
So we'll find out exactly what happens. And remember, keep an eye on Ricky Stenhouse's crew. He's had 2 pit stops tonight where they have lost positions for him. 2 in the first go, and then 7 the 2nd time around. He's running in 6th position right now.
Yeah, Kyle Busch's pit crew has been stellar tonight, especially on caution flag pit stops. So they've been getting him out in front. That's what they're going to need to do here if they can.
Here comes everybody, and we're going to send it down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
It'll be a battle of some Cup Series pit crews. Kevin Harvick has his own Cup Series crew. Left lower side, that's Jimmy Johnson's Lowe's crew pitting Casey Kane. Harvick, they're going to go back away from the wedge adjustment they had made earlier. He said the car's still loose, can't get on the bottom of the track. 38 car. He said we're going to go up one round of track bar. The car too tight middle. Casey Kane trying to get away. Jamie.
Kyle Busch's pit crew getting it done tonight. Another track bar adjustment. 4 tires, last set of stickers. Fill it up. This is going to be his hope, Dave.
And Carl Edwards, lower right, gives up second place. He'll take 4 fresh tires, just a little bit of fuel, track bar adjustment, and boy, he's going to win the race off of pit road.
Great work.
You heard the call. Carl Edwards, Kevin Harvick, each pick up 1 spot. Casey loses 2. Kyle comes out exactly where he went in. +3 for Jason Leffler. You see the rest of the 10 cars that made it off pit road first. So we'll reset it for you, and we're going to find out who has the best shot at winning this race as you see the race off pit road here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And the reaction from the Fastenal crew, that's right. First off,
at the U.S. Nationals, Tony Schumacher has 8 wins. If he can win again, he passes Don Garlits for the most Indy wins. And if he doesn't, it'll be his first win in 17 races. It's the Mac Tools U.S. Nationals presented by Lucas Oil. Qualifying Sunday, finals Monday.
29 laps to go. We are under our 5th caution here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Great Clips 300 Atlanta Motor Speedway. And there is the race leader, and let's talk to his crew chief. How about it, Dave?
The race leader by virtue of a great pit stop. Mike, you've had both sides of that pit stop thing tonight, but overall, how was the car for this last run?
Well, car seemed to be okay. We made a change the time before that, and it wasn't really as good for some reason, but we put it back like it was when it's really fast there. Yeah, we keep trying to give us away, just crazy stuff happening, that hose getting caught under the fender and all that stuff, but, Carl's done a great job, and the pit crew, they come to life when they needed to, so it's good fun. Everybody's out of tires here, so, we'll see what we got, and hopefully we can win one of these things. It's been over a month now, and we're starting to get the itch pretty bad.
Hungry for a win here in the 60 pit, Vince. Last year's winner, Jamie McMurray in the 7, Tony Erie Jr. What kind of car does your guy have here for these final 30 laps?
It's kind of working pretty good for us. We just got to get up there and get our track position back from that earlier flat. But car's been real fast all night. We just had a problem blistering right front. So this kind of put us in the window. We won't have to worry about it. We can just go hard here. So we'll see how fast the car can get.
He'll start this restart 7th. Jamie?
Well, Jason Ratcliffe has been adjusting on this race car. Wedge, track bar. This time, Jason, you made a last-minute call just to make an air pressure adjustment. Why the call when he's saying how loose he gets?
Well, we've been, as you mentioned, it's been loose all night. We made it better. I was just trying to get some track position there, trying to do it with air pressure. If we can keep from doing too much on pit road, I was hoping we get a good pit stop, maybe get some track position there. The guy's been doing a great job on pit road tonight. We've been slinging some stuff at it, and it's been getting better, but I think the more the track cools down, it's just difficult to keep up with. But Kyle's been doing a nice job, and we'll see here. Maybe we can get our Z-Line Design Toyota in Victor Lane.
All right, Kyle Busch, 4th right now, Doc.
Stuart Cooper making the call for Casey Kane. Stu, you lost a couple of spots on that pit exchange. Major adjustments. What's he got for the 33 and the 60?
Yeah, I mean, our cars, we've made huge swings all night. We've been extremely loose, and it was crazy at the start of the race. I thought we were going to run 20th, but we've made some large swings on this Great Clips Chevrolet. Yeah, I wasn't happy about those 2 spots there, but the team's done a great job all night with all the adjustments. Really proud of them. Really good shot in the arm for this group. Hopefully we can get around these guys. We've been great on the long run here, so we got a lot of laps left. Everybody's out of tires, so we'll see what happens.
Let's check in with Dave.
With Mike Kelly, crew chief of Ricky Stenhouse. What do you try to give him for the final run, Mike?
And we just try and give him track position here. The Blackwell Angus Ford Mustang's been close all night. We lost a lot of track position a few pit stops ago, but the guys rallied back really good there. Just try and get him tightened up here for the short run and see what he's got.
Here they go, Marty.
And it's Carl Edwards taking the high side with Kevin Harvick alongside. There were 7 waiver rounds, the most important being Elliott Sadler. He decided to stay out. He's back on the lead lap. We can also tell you Chase Miller has gotten into the 14. Eric McClure pulled out of the car. He was feeling ill, and look out. 3 wide, and man, there's not enough room for that.
Yeah, that's our points leader right there in the middle of that, too. Got to try to get what you can right now, but you don't want to give it all away either.
That's Stenhouse right in the middle of your screen in the 6. Above him, the 22 of Keselowski. Out front right now, here comes Harvick leading the 60 of Carl Edwards.
We've not seen that outside lane choice work tonight.
Guys, these cars don't have the horsepower that you need to make that work. See Keselowski up into the wall there. This car is just not very good. Whoa.
And in 2 other cars. The 32 of Reed Sorensen, one of our championship contenders, and Trevor Bayne.
31 crashes. Be ready.
Heard on the radio, 31.
There was a lot
That's what
going
happens
on.
when we get back in the field over stupid stuff.
So Trevor's hopes of winning his first Nationwide Series race are going to be put on hold again.
Boy, this has big championship implications right here with Reed Sorensen. Elliott Sadler, who just took the wave around, back on the lead lap now, will be able to come to pit road and get some fresh tires, work on his car some more.
And you can see the damage is too severe for Reed to be able to continue.
Yeah, he's got a lot of problems. They're going to go behind the wall. They'll probably not be able to get back in.
All right, here's the 22 first.
That's just slight contact with Brad, but you see all these cars racing hard, and the 31 did get into Reed.
And it collects the 16 of Trevor Bayne as well from high above.
Yeah, you can see Reed Sorensen right there in front of Allgaier, and they get 4 wide.
Yeah, that's just a
hard
mistake.
lick.
Yeah, Allgaier just tried to push the issue a little bit too much there. You jump in the throttle, got to give a little bit of room.
Yeah, don't forget those 2 guys are teammates.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun team meeting when this deal's over.
Yeah, it's a hard lick, too, for both Trevor Bayne and for Reed Sorensen. That's a tough break.
Ooh, and Brian Scott may have gotten a little piece of the action in it as well. We'll have to check on that. All right, let's listen.
2 wide in the total.
You can hear him checking up.
All clear, all clear.
You can hear Allgaier even check up, but there's just so much going on in front of him.
Just clear him. Should be clear and exit. Stay low here. Watch him here. Watch him, watch him, watch him, watch him. Caution's out. Just watch for debris there. Shit flying all off that thing.
Good. We apologize for that, folks. 6th caution of the day here as 24 laps to go. And it will be a matter of now, like you said, here comes Elliott Sadler down pit road, so he will get his final set of fresh tires.
Yeah, it's a big break for Elliott. Like you say, he gets those fresh tires on, gets a lap back. He was from nowhere, actually a lap down, to now being back in it.
Well, and Reed Sorensen at the time of the crash was 9th. And right now, it's going to really hurt him in the points. He will be at least in the 3rd position, and right now, at least 23 markers behind, maybe more. Of course, that could change if something unfortunate happens to
Ricky Stenhouse doesn't get 3 wide again in the middle or something, and something else happens. We've got a lot of racing happen here in these next 24 laps.
We've had a lot of racing all night. It's been a great race. Hope you've enjoyed it. Been with us the whole time. We've had 20 lead changes. Just to let you know, the record is 22 here at Atlanta. And 8 different leaders ties the mark.
We got to think Kevin Harvick is going to take that inside lane on this restart because we know that's where he wants to be. But he'll be controlling this one, so he'll have a little more advantage over Carl Edwards.
Was trying to shoot the gap up under the bottom there, coming off of 2, and I was wide open already. And I don't know. It's all good. The race and deal, man. Happened. We'll deal with it later. Now you didn't do it on purpose.
So you heard Justin explaining on the radio to his crew. Like we said, it's not going to be a lot of fun. And there is Trevor Bayne. It's his 9th finish outside the top 10 in his last 11 races, Doc.
And Trevor Bayne absolutely, frustrated, so frustrated. And one of the reasons he's frustrated, guys, is on that last pit stop, they lost 6 spots on pit road. On the previous stop, they lost about 4 or 5 spots because the car fell off the jack, not once, but twice. And now he's climbed out of the car and headed back to the garage area. Let me grab Trevor. Trevor, I know it had to be frustrating for you to be back there and be involved. What happened?
It really was, man. I mean, if we didn't have to come to pit road today, I think we could have won the race. It's just frustrating. Last 2 stops, we lost 6 spots apiece, and we weren't out of top 5 on the track all day, and I thought we were going to have an easy top 5 and maybe a shot to win this thing. And came to pit road, came out 11th, and
that we were in a place we should have never been, and they all crashed, and I hit the wall wide open. It's a pretty good hit. I mean, that definitely hurt pretty bad. Knocked the wind out of me a little bit, but that's the best mile-and-a-half car we've had yet. I'm really proud of what Chad and all my guys have done here. Turned this program around a little bit. We had an easy top 5, so we'll go to the next one in Richmond and see if we can't wear them out.
Hey, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Trevor Bayne, Marty, frustrated down here, and obviously rightfully so.
Yeah, and it has been a tough road for him. Of course, as he said, they'll look forward to Richmond. He always has the positive attitude. It's one of the things you have to admire about him.
It's kind of a double whammy there because they had a brand new car and it was working well. And, it is frustrating when you lose those spots on pit road and get caught up in something.
So right now we have 22 laps remaining, still under this 6th caution. And we mentioned the fact that Brian Scott may have gotten a piece of that, and yes, he did. Look at that right front corner of his car. Let's listen in on his radio.
I won't lie. I turned hard left and closed my eyes on that one.
Well, sometimes you got to be lucky.
I don't think that's the first time a driver's ever done that, I promise you, but sometimes that's just what you have to do.
Well, Reed Sorensen's out of the car. Jerry Punch is with him.
And Reed was asking me, what did the replay show? Reed, the contact from your teammate, the 31 car. First of all, you okay, and can the car get back in?
No, it's destroyed. I guess he's trying to beat us. I guess that's the only way he's going to do it. And it's kind of uncalled for to wreck your teammate, especially when we're running for the championship here.
Okay, here's the replay.
I don't have anything to say about it. I'll tell you one thing. I will find him after the race, and it'll be between me and him because all these guys work at the shop together on these race cars at Turner Motorsports and work hard. And he just tore a race car up for us, so not happy about it. And Dollar General car was good tonight, and I thought we were going to, do okay, have a nice top 10 finish. Worked hard all night, but I'll find him, I promise you.
All right, trying to win a championship. No such thing as teammates nowadays, guys.
Well, and we're getting to that stretch. We were talking about this. Every point counts, and this is a huge hit for him.
Yeah, it really is, and I think Reed handled that very well. I'm sure there's a lot more that he would have liked to say, but he'll probably say that to Justin. And in Justin's case, you have to be aware of what's going on around you and who you're racing with, and that's all part of being part of a big team there. And that'd be some interesting conversation going on.
With 21 laps to go, here are the way the points shake out at the moment. Elliott Sadler would be in second by 14, but Reed Sorensen would drop 27 points behind. And he entered the race just 10 behind Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Yeah, certainly not insurmountable as we continue this season, but puts them in a hole that will be more difficult to dig out of.
Yeah, he's going to lose more spots yet. I mean, he's still being shown in 22nd, but he'll lose a lot more spots when it goes green.
And here's something to think about. It's his 4th straight finish outside the top 10 for Reed Sorensen. So you start having this bad luck. You start thinking, as a driver, what's it do to you?
Yeah, it makes it just difficult because you're trying to rebound. You've gotten better cars and things keep happening.
And Eric Almirola, we were on board with him for one of the replays as it quickly unfolded in front of him, and he was able to get through it. Here it is again.
Yeah, you can see he's going to get a good view of exactly what's happening in front.
Just clear him. Get me clear and exit.
Yeah, just very fortunate. Those cars stayed up against the wall. He did a nice job.
And he is our in-race reporter, and let's talk to him, DJ.
Eric, Dale Jarrett, the ESPN. You have a copy?
Yep.
Hey, buddy, we just showed the replay there. You did a nice job of avoiding that wreck.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, we've heard a lot of people talking about their race cars being extremely loose here tonight. Has that been your case?
Yeah, we have been really, really loose. We have not. It's not anything like it was in practice. It's quite a bit looser. So we haven't been as good as we wanted to with our old Hellman Chevrolet, but Pop's made some adjustments here, made it a little bit better. We'll see what we got here for these last 20 laps. It's going to get more exciting. I'm sure that's not the end of it right there.
Okay, good luck. Be safe.
Thank you.
Of course, Eric Almirola has top 8 finishes in 6 of the last 7 races, including top 5s in there. And here's our summary, as our leader will be Kevin Harvick. Most laps led, Carl Edwards far and away in that category. We've had a total of 8 leaders, 20 lead changes. Our 6th caution is still going on. And the points leader, running 6th right now, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And Elliott Sadler with fresh rubber underneath him, back on the lead lap, 14th. All right, here we go again. Harvick has selected the inside low line, and you've got Carl Edwards right alongside. In row number 2, it's Casey Kane and Kyle Busch. Then in row number 3, you've got Jason Leffler, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., then Jamie McMurray, last year's winner here, and Brad Keselowski, and rounding out your top 10, Justin Allgaier and Eric Almirola. Pace car is off. These fans are on their feet. When they come by, there'll be 19 laps to go. Hold on. Keselowski's in the middle of a 3 wide.
I don't know about that, the way his car's driving here.
Up front, Edwards trying the high line. They're side by side.
See Kyle Busch really trying to clear Casey Kane for that 3rd spot. He wants to be a part of this battle for the lead here.
It will be Edwards officially leading this lap with 18 to go, but here comes the 33 of Harvick.
Harvick slipped a little right there. Tried to keep his car, keep the momentum, but Carl Edwards able to clear.
And Carl pulls out about 2-3 car lengths. In 3rd place, it's Kyle Busch, then Casey Kane and Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Can really see the 7 car. Yeah, I saw him go way up the track. Looks like he might have a problem with a tire right there.
Remember, Jamie McMurray early in this race had a right front tire go down.
Sounds like something broke.
Hi here, say hi here, say hi. 4 more cars coming there. 3 more cars coming. 1 more car, 1.
Meanwhile, while that's going on, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. taking a look underneath Casey Kane for 4th. And he's got him. So right now you've got Ford up front, then a Chevy.
Whoa!
Hang on.
Keselowski is out of control.
Brad has had his hands full about the last dozen laps.
Yeah, and Elliott Sadler making good use of those 4 new tires that he just put on into the top 10 now.
He has moved into the 9th position. You see Stephen Wallace right there with Brian Scott. Here comes the 6 of Stenhouse on the high side of the 18 of Kyle Busch.
Looks like Ricky might have found high gear here all of a sudden at the end of the race.
We'll tell you that Jamie McMurray has made it back to his pit stall. Carl Edwards has checked out on this, and Stenhouse is trying to make it another 1-2 Roush Fenway.
Got another big run.
Yeah, man, he's getting a great run from the center of the corner out.
He might have something for Carl Edwards.
Absolutely, no doubt about that.
Dave, what are you hearing on that 6 car?
On the pit stop, when everyone came to top off and not take tires, they made an adjustment to the 6 car. Mike Kelly told me that they made a wedge adjustment to try to free him up a little bit in the center of the corner. One of the reasons was for speed. The other was that right front tire that we saw destroyed. It appears to be helping the 6 a lot.
Yes.
Kyle Busch is trying to come back on him.
He's trying to come back, but Stenhouse ran within 200ths of Carl Edwards, and he made a pass on the 18 car that last lap.
Back to the battle for 11th, Brian Scott and Stephen Wallace going after each other. And there's Kenny Wallace. He is in the 13th position. Haven't talked about Kenny all night. This is the one track, along with Michigan, he says just eats him up. He hasn't been able to learn how to manage his tires. He's doing pretty good tonight.
Yeah, he's going to make a pretty decent run out of it. He struggled early on, but able to have things go his way towards the end.
There you see the 7 car back in the pit road. They had the hood up. They've got him back out. But unfortunately, last year's winner is going to be several laps down now, as Jamie McMurray shown at least 3 laps off the pace. That battle for 11th is sort of calmed down, so let's check back in with our race leader. Carl Edwards now has a 1.2-second lead over second place, Ricky Stenhouse, but Stenhouse was quicker that last lap.
Yeah, just about 100th of a second faster than Carl. That's not enough to catch him. He's going to have to find something more.
Next time by, there'll be 11 laps remaining. Battle between the 22 of Brad Keselowski and the 2 of Elliott Sadler. That is for 9th.
Yeah, we talked about Elliott being a little bit better, but you can see now still just don't have this car right, even after they put those tires on it. So this is going to drop him back to 10th. Much better than what they were looking at, but still a long night for these guys.
Right now he would be 14 points behind Ricky Stenhouse in the championship hunt. He came into this race tonight 5 points behind.
If he can hang on for 10 more laps, and he's made a lot out of this night where they really were not very good.
You can see that Keselowski has pulled away from him. Now, if you're wondering, the gap is another 2 seconds back from Elliott Sadler to 11th place, Stephen Wallace. Here comes Kyle Busch looking underneath the 6 as Ricky Stenhouse. That's for 2nd.
Yeah, Kyle gained about 4/10 on Carl Edwards that last lap. Nice pass there going by the lap car and able to keep it right on the bottom. See Stenhouse really loose.
And it cost him, as you can see, he lost a lot of ground, and now Kyle trying to set sail and see if he can reel in the race leader. He's 0.8 of a second behind, as he was the quickest on that last lap with 9 to go.
You can visibly see him coming on Carl Edwards.
A little reminiscent of last night's truck race, although the circumstances were different. Clint Boyer was really mashing the throttle, trying to track down eventual winner Ron Hornaday.
See the lap traffic moving out of both of these guys' way, letting them race for it. Plenty of room here.
We can tell you that Jamie McMurray had another right front flat tire, so that was the second time that's happened to him tonight. This time by Kyle Busch, again fastest. Back in the battle, that is for 11th and 12th. Stephen Wallace, Kenny Wallace, and 13th, Brian Scott. They go around the slowing general for Cobb. She is 29th, showing 11 laps down.
Yeah, Steve Wallace doing a nice job here. He got caught making a pit stop early, staying out trying to stretch it, but that got him a lap down. Been able to fight back from that, just outside the top 10 and 11th now.
Those three continue their march, but the guy who's marching out in front is Carl Edwards, as he is looking at a 7/10 of a second lead with next time by 6 laps remaining. Kyle Busch still trying to narrow the gap.
Yeah, you see right there, Carl Edwards got loose through the middle of the corner. He's been doing that a lot. His car's been fast while he's doing it, but how long will that thing hold on like that? 6 more times.
That last lap, Carl was actually a little bit quicker than Kyle.
Yeah, he's really making this work, getting that left front tire down there, literally below the yellow line, making his car turn and then just literally driving it, just wheeling this car and wheeling it almost to make it run fast.
Yeah, he's making those sparks fly off of the front splitter almost every lap where that transition is between the apron and the racetrack.
This time by, there'll be 5 laps remaining. Who's fastest this lap? Again,
looks like Carl's got the fastest car now.
It was. He was quicker by 2/10 of a second on that one, and his lead is back up to a second. So the laps are running out for Kyle Busch to snap his streak of never winning here in the Nationwide Series.
Now let's watch Carl Edwards. He's working hard at doing this. See, not just going in and turning the wheel. Look at him turn back right in the center of the corner.
That's only doing about 170 miles an hour through there. Look at he's talking with his hands. Don't know who he's talking to.
50. He ran a 70.
Carl continuing to hacksaw that wheel. His lead 1.1 seconds. They go down the backstretch. It's Chase Miller in the 14 in between the two that are running up front. Don't even think about third place. Ricky Stenhouse is going to have to settle for third. He is another 1.8 seconds behind.
You see Kenny Wallace's car slow in the front straightaway.
Transmission, something like that.
Yep, there is
No
Kenny.
gears at all.
That may bring out a caution, because he's only in turn 2 and he's real slow.
That's a shame for Kenny, because we mentioned he had a good night going. He was close to cracking the top 10. And now, as you heard him say, he thinks it might be the transmission. Timmy Hill had a transmission issue before the start of the race, so that's the second time we've heard that tonight.
This is 2 laps to go for Carl Edwards.
Motor is running. It broke drivetrain. It's official. The drivetrain is broke, I promise.
All right, so there you get the latest update from Kenny, the drivetrain, and now with less than 2 laps remaining, it is Kyle Busch quickest on that last lap, but he's just not going to have enough time as Carl is going to be looking at the white flag next time by.
Yeah, the only thing, Carl is going to have some traffic. If they make him go to the higher side, he could lose a little bit of that momentum. Going to catch him at the right spot, though.
Flag, buddy, one more time.
He gets around Jennifer Joe. And he has 1.5 miles to go. And Carl Edwards, remember, he won this race from pole back in 2005, and he got loose there.
Wow.
Kyle is pushing for all he's worth, but it's not going to be enough. He'll be the 4th man to win from pole here at Atlanta in the Nationwide Series as he's bringing it around the final corners. And it is going to be Carl Edwards taking the win here at Atlanta. Kyle Busch closes to 2nd. And in 3rd, it will be Ricky Stenhouse Jr., our points leader. And low, coming to the stripe, the 30th Jason Leffler is going to come down and through the infield.
P9.
And we'll have to wait and see where NASCAR places him, because I don't think there's any timing lines in the infield grass.
No, there's not, but I think he's going to be able to stay around that 9th spot.
And you heard the crew saying 9th, so we'll double check with NASCAR. As the fireworks go off in the background. So Carl Edwards picks up his 35th career win. His last win was 5 starts ago for him back at Nashville.
Way to go, guys! Woo!
And on a hot night, he wants that helmet off already.
He worked hard inside of there. There was nothing, that car was just easy to drive around here.
His 6th win of 2011, second only to Kyle Busch's 7 wins. These guys have led over 50% of the laps run this season just between the two of them. Vince, let's talk to happy Mike Beam.
Happy indeed, Mike Beam and company getting the win. How good was this car that you were able to overcome the penalty that you had earlier in the race?
This car was awesome. You know, I have to thank Robbie Reiser and Al Allen and Kyle Zazzi and all those guys at the shop. You know, they built this car for us. It's like a new car, and it's very gratifying to win. I mean, we built this car because we knew we just got to get after it here. It's been 5 or 6 weeks since we won a race, and everyone's just getting really aggravated. But you got Carl Edwards, and we expect to win every week. Because we know how hard he tries. But I got to thank Ford and Fast and all, but I got to think Valvoline. What this next gen oil is in this car. So people need to go out and buy the oil. I'm telling you, it's amazing. The engine, Doug Yates and them done a great job.
Certainly worked for the 60 crew tonight. Mike Beam and Carl Edwards going to victory lane.
Not the only thing that's happened bad for Carl tonight is he just whacked his head trying to go through that gate there. 16th time that they've finished 1-2 between Carl and Kyle. Kyle's won 9 of them. Carl's now won 7. Let's go back to the last lap. The 22 and the 30.
Jason Leffler just loses it right there.
Get no contact from behind, and while he goes on through the grass one more time, let's catch up with the man who finished 2nd place.
Yeah, Kyle Busch could see Carl in his windshield. Looked like you were running quicker laps than him as they were winding down. How much did you have? Did you have anything else you could do to try to catch him?
No, that's it. We were all kind of stuck on the bottom tonight. I wish it would spread out and moved around, but it never did. But I can't say enough about these guys from Joe Gibbs Racing, all the guys here on this Z-Line Designs Furniture Toyota Camry. Good car, just not good enough. We knew that it would be a race against the Fords, and they got great under the hood. So just hated that we didn't have enough under the hood to run with them as a little bit better, But even on the long haul, we got real loose, and those guys seemed to be better. We would equal out, and then I'd be better, then he'd be better. So it was all about how you could get to the bottom of the racetrack and how you could run the bottom. But overall, thank Z-Line, NOS Energy Drink, Pizza Ranch, Toyota, everybody. Thanks again.
Kyle Busch finishing 2nd. Jamie.
Well, Justin Allgaier gets another top 10, but the story with him is your teammate Reed Sorensen and you got together. He wasn't happy. He said he's going to find you, and it's going to be between the two of you. What is your take?
Oh, absolutely. I feel horrible. You don't ever want to crash anyone, especially not a teammate. And got to run off the 2 there, and got jammed up on the initial start and got to run off at 2, and thought maybe we could get him down the back straightaway. And unfortunately, I don't know if those guys got jammed up a little bit or something, but there's really no words that can describe it right now. I definitely want to talk to Reed. I need to apologize to him for sure. It was my fault. I don't know. These restarts here are unbelievable, and we didn't have the best race car all night. We made it a lot better. Jimmy Elledge and the guys did a great job, and finally got it to where we felt like we needed to be at there towards the end. And just hate it for those guys who took some championship points away from them they didn't deserve. And I don't know. They just go on to next week to Richmond, and hopefully they can get some of those points back, and hopefully still go for this championship.
All right, Justin Allgaier, remorseful after what happened. Marty?
Last year, only 2 nationwide regulars finished in the top 10. Tonight, 5 finished in the top 10. And here's how it shakes out. Nobody changes positions, but Ricky Stenhouse Jr. stretches his lead from 5 to 13, and Reed Sorensen takes a huge hit. He is now 40 points behind. And let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Ricky Stenhouse watching the points there. Ricky, great third-place finish, and you moved it more ahead in the points. Great night.
It was. Our Black Angus beef and Cargill Mustang was strong all night. We struggled there in the pits, there in the middle later the race, and we were able to overcome it. We caught a right front tire that almost gave us some trouble there and almost went down, but just got to thank all the fans for coming out, man. Good crowd tonight, and Nationwide Insurance, and just glad to have this Black Angus beef and Cargill Mustang paint job back on this thing.
Ricky Stenhouse, guys, closer to a championship. Marty?
All right, thanks, Doc. Let's check on down now in the One Main Financial Victory Lane, because there's Carl Edwards. Dave, it's all yours.
Guess we have to say, Marty, it's all Carl's. You okay, by the way? That was a little hit on the bar coming through there, but what a way to celebrate a win tonight, Carl, in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's a great clips race. I shaved a couple of hairs off there. Man, I got to say happy birthday to my grandma Phyllis. They're watching the race from Kirkwood, Missouri, and we're going to take the trophy home to grandma. So thank you guys. I love you. And got to thank Fastenal. This is a big week for Fastenal. We announced a big partnership for next year. That's huge. Got to thank Ford, Valvoline, the Nationwide Series, all the fans here, Wiley X, and Aflac. We had a big day yesterday, and I was inspired by the kids at the Aflac Cancer Center. So if you folks want to donate, Aflac will double your donation at aflac.com/friends. So it's a big weekend for us here, and I can't believe we got the pole and the win. What a heck of a race.
And you led the most laps again. Real quick, getting beyond the early penalties, Carl, you tried to stay positive and keep your team in it.
Yeah, I've got a great team. These are great guys, and man, everybody raced really well. I mean, that was as hard as we could race out there. Kyle and I, Kevin, I raced Casey. I mean, it was a lot of fun. This track is as good as it gets. This is a blast. I can't wait for tomorrow.
6th win of the season. Every one of them, he's led the most laps once again tonight. Marty?
And the second time he's come back from a penalty to win. Let's check in on the ticket to the race, and you can see exactly where we're headed. Richmond next week, on to Chicago, Dover, Kansas, right on through to the season ender, November 19th at Homestead Miami Speedway. And it's a NASCAR Sprint Cup Series from Atlanta. It's presented by Pennzoil tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN. Coming up next, it's ESPN2 College Football Scoreboard, presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For our crew, I'm Marty Reed. Till we meet again.